Greetings to Podcastville. Uncle Joey here. This podcast is brought to you by Nature Box. What do you do when you want a snack, but all you can find is junk food? You rely on your self-control to resist the temptation, and how do you end up there? You eat the junk food. Start snacking healthy with Nature Box. These snacks are tremendous, and right now you'll save even more because Nature Box is offering our church family 50% off your first order when you go to naturebox.com/Joey. Again, that's naturebox.com/Joey for 50% off your first order. Number 2, here's something to chew on. Many recent studies suggest that having good oral health impacts your overall health. Yet, most of us don't brush our teeth properly. You can start brushing better. You know why? Today! Because right now you can go to quip.com/Joey and get your first refill pack for free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack free at quip.com/Joey. That's quip.com/Joey. The new way to brush your teeth. And number 3, Father's Day's coming. You see him sitting there, he sits there all day. What do you think when he happens when he sits there all day? I mean, your dad's a nice guy and the whole thing, but his ass ferments like the rest of us. Just because he's your dad don't mean his ass don't stink like 10 dead billy goats. That ends today because you're going to order HelloTushy.com. Joey, what's HelloTushy.com? How's my dad's ass going to stink differently? You know how? HelloTushy.com is a new portable bidet which you can install on any toilet. You understand me? And it works tremendously. It's got a 90-day money-back guarantee. And let me tell you something. There's nothing like getting your asshole washed with a little mist 2-3 times a day. You avoid bacteria. You avoid hemorrhoids. You avoid swamp ass. And now the summer's coming. And you know what humidity does to your asshole? Right or wrong? You ever take a shit in the morning and you leave the house and you walk around, you mingle, but meanwhile your asshole's on fire. You don't know why your fucking little muffler's burning. You know why? Because you got that fucking backup drip. No more! HelloTushy.com will take care of that. Go to HelloTushy.com right now and press in. Church! And get 10% off. HelloTushy.com. Hit it! Oh shit. Wednesday, June 7th. Are you kidding me or what? I'm feeling fucking Minnesota, but looking California. You follow me? Church of What's Happening Now. Syatt, Brody Stevens, the master, the Prince of Periscope. That's what they call him, PLP.
Yes.
Or Pop, no, I'm sorry, POP. The Prince of Periscope. You follow me? Well, who gives a fuck? It's the Church of What's Happening Now, cocksuckers. Syatt and your motherfucking Uncle Joey. Bam, bam. Kick this mule, Lee. They gotta hear the power of Shankner. Feel this power, cocksuckers.
Yes.
Are you kidding me or what? Kick this mule, Lee. Kick this mule, cocksucker. I want them to feel these drums and shit. Boom, bop, boom, boom, bop. What? Hit it. Bop, boom, bop, boom, 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 bop, bop. Down, 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 down. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. I'm going to have to go get a $10 bag of Chi powder. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Brody Stevens, my brother?
Excited to be here, Joey. Feeling good.
You were down in Palm Springs getting some sun.
Yeah, sunny, hot down there.
Now, how much warmer is it down there than up here?
Today it was a lot. You know, it was about 104 out there when I left.
Damn.
Yeah, and the Dodger game they played this afternoon, it was like a marine layer. It was like 70 degrees. I thought it was going to be smoking hot here, too, but
no, it
nice. Wasn't.
No. Tonight you'll go out. You can't fuck around this time of the year here. You leave your house with a T-shirt, you go somewhere warm, you walk out, it's fucking freezing.
Yeah, it gets cold at night.
That desert air comes in with the snakes and the coyotes and fucking, you know.
Palm Springs is just the cutoff, the mountains. It's like that's the first spot that the clouds from LA don't get to. It cuts it off, and it's just that's where the heat starts out there in that desert. And that's the great thing about LA growing up here at night. You got the marine layer, you got the ocean breeze coming in. So you go to a Dodger game, you got to wear a jacket. You go to Anaheim Stadium, it's cold down there at night. Yeah. That stadium, they've got wind coming through there. Same thing with San Diego at night. So you got San Francisco. Geez, all the cities are cold.
San Francisco's cold at night.
San Francisco, LA, but you'd think LA and Anaheim, San Diego. It's mild. It gets cold at night down there.
I've been to a few Dodger games. When you go in, like in September, you go in there with a T-shirt at night. You're like, wait a second, I gotta walk to my fucking car. I'm freezing out here. What the fuck mistake did I make? But who would have figured it out?
Yeah, it gets cold. But we're lucky we're not in Chicago. It rains, hot. You really got to read the weather there, and they're not.
We only get 2 bad weeks of weather here, and they're in August. The last 2 weeks of August, it gets a little on the humid side.
Yeah.
But beside that, this is a great place weather-wise to live. I knew at the age of 12 that I couldn't deal with humidity. I didn't really understand it. I knew that it was something that when I came out of the shower, I was sweating. When I combed my hair, I was sweating. Even though I dried my shirt and my back and my chest, when I was putting a T-shirt on, I felt this mist of water. And then I would walk to these parties, and by the time I got there, my fucking head would be fucked up, all frizzed up. I had the Jew fro growing up, and I just hated it. And I didn't really know the difference was till I went to Colorado the first time. And I'm like, oh shit, this is what it feels like not to have humidity in the air. This is what I want from now on.
That's funny because I left New York not for the cold. I left for the summer. I could deal with humidity outside. I could deal with it going down the subway, even though that was really brutal. But you get on that subway with that air conditioning, and it felt good. My apartment, I didn't have air conditioning. I had a fan and a water bottle. That's what I had. So it was pretty brutal. And then but I did it. After 3 years of living in New York, I got it out of my system. I did it, did the subway, did the bus because the subway was not working. But you got to see a lot of different people, doing comedy down there, out there, and you got to take the subway. I did it. You're the one who told me to go to New York. And it was funny, like you mentioned Colorado right here. That's where my mom was living with her boyfriend. So I actually went to Colorado for a little bit. I got to get out of New York. Went to Colorado, caught my breath, and then I moved back to L.A. 2000. That was kind of my plan anyway, to be back here in L.A. in 2000. I had to, like I mentioned on the Periscope how, I did an open mic here. I started here in L.A. I went on stage at, I did one open mic in Chatsworth, and I did a comedy workshop at UCLA. I needed that, and we had our graduation class at the Comedy Store, and I did well back in, it was 93, and then I did one open, I felt like, I did well. It was a Sunday night, it was packed, bringing in 5 friends, one of those deals, Sandy Seashore, it was Paulie's sister, and the Comedy Store, I grew up with it, meaning like I saw it with my eyes, because my mom's boyfriend lived on Holloway up in a high-rise, so I could see the Comedy Store, Sunset Strip, and you could feel that energy. And I wasn't like a big crazy, comedy guy, but I'd feel that energy of the Sunset Strip. But I would also see the lights of Dodger Stadium. It was just, there's something about seeing the lights of Dodger Stadium, knowing that there's a game going on there. There's a whole community going on there. You see the lights, and then, you can watch it on TV. You can listen on the radio. But whenever I drive by a stadium, the Rose Bowl, I always look at it. I have to make eye contact with the sign. Dodger Stadium, I have to see the lights. If I'm going on the 110, I got to see the Coliseum. I have to make eye contact with seats.
I never figured you for growing up here. When you told me that, my fucking head exploded. After like 3 months after I met you, I would look at you and say, "This lunatic's from Chicago,"
Well, people thought I was from New York.
Or New York.
Growing up here,
Florida, maybe Florida. You were out of your fucking mind.
I don't know. But, yeah, growing up here, I grew up here, in the Valley. High school here,
You said your dad went to school in North Hollywood.
Yeah,
High?
North Hollywood High, right here down the street.
I wonder if Yum Yum Donuts was there back then.
How long has that been there for?
I don't know.
That's an active corner. You got 2 high schools there. You got a rich kid.
What's the other high school there?
Oakwood.
Right next to North Hollywood High?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one in the middle of the school, of the block.
Yeah, well, it's on Magnolia. It's on the other side.
What's the difference between Oakwood and North Hollywood?
Oakwood's private. Rich kids probably.
Yeah, they have a full-time staff of crossing guards on Magnolia throughout the day. Like six crosswalks down. You don't see them. They have like umbrellas.
Okay, so the school down the block towards the 101.
Right.
That's Oakwood.
They
built a bridge.
Right, they built
just
a bridge.
installed a bridge.
Now, it costs like $30,000 a year to go to that school, and you call your teacher by the first name.
Yeah.
It's progressive.
There's probably like a petting zoo in the back.
Yeah.
Big wheels.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy back there.
That stuff is, that's what I try and share on Twitter. I went to those private schools. Mom, for a semester, and I knew it wasn't right.
Which one did you go to?
I went to probably like Valley. I think it was actually called the Valley School over on like Haskell and Sherman Way. The petting zoo.
Now Notre Dame, the other one on Riverside.
Notre Dame's on Riverside.
Notre Dame.
That's high school. That's respected. #1 baseball player prospect in the country right now. Throws 100.
Really?
Tyler Green, I believe. Is it Tyler
Really?
Green? Yeah. Kid throws 102.
Now all
I
those
think.
schools are 25 to 30 G's a year.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Now the problem with those schools is you're going to school with Denzel's kids, and you're going to school with all these people's kids.
Right.
See, it's I don't know if I don't know.
Campbell Hall, that's another one.
Campbell Hall, that's the big one.
Yeah, these kids, they're rich kids. They got helicopter parents, so they're doing some of the drugs.
I gotta tell you what happened today. That's right. My head almost blew up this morning. That's right. Talking about fucking kids.
Very casually.
I wake up, I clean the cat litter boxes, I feed the cats, I make a little coffee. I smoke some dope. The doorbell rings. I'm like, who the fuck's knocking on my door at 8 in the morning? Oh, it's Juana. And that's who comes in twice a week to help with Mercy in the daytime and shit while my wife runs errands and shit. And she cleans. I go, Juana, what's going on? She goes, I'm going to come here today instead of Monday. It was news to me. So I said, Juana, let me finish up in the office. Let me jump in the shower and I'll get the fuck out of your hair. I didn't feel like eating eggs, so I just had cereal at the house. Little cornflakes never killed nobody.
That's right.
I figured I'd disappear for 2 hours, write a little bit, and come back, have a protein shake, and go to jiu-jitsu. That was my plan. I get down to the coffee place. I get my little usual green tea, and I sit there, and I sit outside writing, and I just wanted to tighten up a bit. I tried to write a little story, and these kids sit next to me. I don't count them. A couple kids with a couple young girls. I knew one of the girls. Her name is Rose, because one day me and Fucko were down there at Bert Kreischer, and she was there, and she asked us if we had a lighter. And, I got a 2-year-old at the time. I said, how old are you? And she told me she's 17,
Look out.
And her dad's a big fucking publisher, like a music publisher. So I've always known her. I always say hello to her. Bert, whenever I see Bert, he'll go, I went to Marie E.T. and I saw fucking Rose. Rose is always there in the afternoon, but today she was sitting with these 3 fucking knuckleheads. So about a year ago, Marie ETC hired like a parking lot attendant, who's a fucking really good guy. I've had 20 comments. At first I thought he was a dickhead myself, but one day he came up to me and he goes, you could park there, bro, don't worry about it. I was like, really? It says just 10 minutes. He goes, just stay there, don't worry, I know you're going to sit and write and stuff. So ever since that, I tried to help the guy out. Whenever I go down and leave my dishes on the table, I pick them up and bring them back. I don't leave them there like the rest of the fucking, because all those people make good money, but they act like white fucking supremacies over there. Like they act like fucking, they don't do nothing. They look down on the Mexican help over there. They're disgusting fucking people who got a little bit of success in Hollywood, like mid-level writers or something, and you think they're fucking Ingrid Bergman. The women that pull in there, they just pull in there and they don't park right. A lot of women in there, they don't park right. Well, anyway, I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there, and the next thing you fucking know, the guy comes running to the back, and I'm sitting in the corner, but I don't smoke, so I don't know what's smoking and not smoking.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
So I hear him say to one of the kids, "Do me a favor, can you put that cigarette out, or go to that side of the coffee shop and smoke?" And the kid goes, "Yeah, man," and he walks away. And I don't know, I got earphones on? No, I don't. I'm sitting there writing, and I'm looking up, and I'm paying attention to my own world. You know when you're writing and you're in your own world?
Right, yeah, you're not paying attention.
But I'm looking that direction, or something makes me look up,
Okay.
and I see the security guard running towards me.
Oh, no.
All right? Didn't I call you, Lee, and tell you about this?
No.
And he runs towards me, and I think he's going to say something to me. I don't know. I'm high. I don't fucking know. I'm just stoned in the corner trying to write. Mind my business, drink my green fucking tea, and at 10:45 I'll leave, go home, put my gi on, and shoot the jiu-jitsu. That's the plan, make a protein shake. It's about 10:20 at this time. I don't know why these kids aren't in school, and the next thing you fucking know, he goes, "Hey, I just told you to put that cigarette out." The kid kept fucking smoking it and smiling. So he tells the kid, "Listen, I'm asking you fucking nicely." Right? He doesn't curse or nothing. These are nice white people. He says, "I'm asking you nicely, either get up or I'm going to have to call the police." And finally, there's this dude that's always there. There's this big fucking dude that's bald, like he shaves his head. You could tell at one time or another he could have been a roughneck. He's big. He has that white dog. You ever go to Marie T and there's
The
a
big
white...
puffy white dog?
Yeah. He owns that white dog. And he sits there with another old-timer. And they just sit there. And finally, for some reason, this guy gets up and he goes, "Hey, he's telling you nicely. I'm not going to tell you that nicely. Get the hell up or go put the cigarette out." Now I got to turn around. Now I got to turn around because they're going to argue behind me, or there's going to be a fist fight fucking behind me. And I'm going to be right there. And I don't mind kicking one of these kids in the fucking kneecaps because you could tell they're three little pussies, right? The kid's smiling, and he goes, "I'm telling you to put the cigarette out." Bro, this kid walked up to him. Finally, when he was 3 feet from him, the kid threw the cigarette down and stepped on it. He goes, "You happy?" And the guy goes, "Okay, do me a favor, get out of here." And he goes, "I'm not getting out of here. You're going to have to throw me out." And I'm like, "Oh, shit. It's going to go down." The guy goes, "No, I'm going to fucking call the cops." So I'm like, God damn it. Now I got to be a fucking witness. They're going to ask me stupid questions, you know. Well, how the fuck do I get out of this? And finally, the big white dude starts yelling at the kid, calling him a little pussy. "You ain't shit. Look at your little fucking friends. You got no class." They had like a fucking Audi 829Z convertible with rocket ship rings, you know. And finally goes, "Get the fuck out of here." The kids head to their car. As they're walking in, the kid that was Johnny Smooth looks up and he goes, "I hope you're not a fucking actor. My dad's the executive producer of the hottest show on ABC, and I'm going to make sure he doesn't fucking hire you, bald-headed fuck." And he got in his car and took off. That was his weapon. That his dad wouldn't give you a fucking role in a movie or a TV show. That's what I live with, people.
What
Welcome
show?
to my world. I ran over, knocked on the glass, and asked him, "Brody, I don't give a fuck what show. I don't want to do business with that little fucking half a fag."
Those guys don't show up at Starbucks. We get tweakers at Starbucks. We don't.
But you're on Laurel Canyon, so you get
Yeah.
everybody who fucking falls off the 101.
But it's literally only a 5-minute walk, if that, and it's two different worlds.
Two different worlds. Two different worlds.
It
I get
really
the
is.
fucking people who think, you know.
Yeah, the
they're living.
screenwriters.
Yeah, the screenwriters.
I had my problem.
I sit there
Oh.
and listen to those motherfuckers talk,
Ugh.
and I just giggle. That's the show. We plant a tape recorder, and we play it, and we listen to all the bullshit stories we used to hear when we first moved here, because they were all bullshit stories.
See, I'd rather sit with the weirdos.
Oh, no, me too.
They're more interesting.
Me too. When I go over there now, if I go out during the week and Lee tapes my set, Lee emails it to me, and I listen to it there. I put earphones on, I plug it in on my phone, and I listen to it there in peace. And I don't have to listen to those fucking... There's a dude who shows up there with an earpiece. Okay? The shirt is ironed to the T. The pants are designer. The shoes are designer. The belt is designer. The BMW is like a 5 Series. And I'm going to tell you something. The guy's up to his asshole in hock.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I've been there 3 times. And I've seen the 3 clients he's been with. He's horrifically bad. And he's terribly cheesy. He's one of those managers you first sign here when you get here, who meets with you and wants to know what you're doing and wants to know about your acting class and how's it going, and that they just had a meeting with CBS about you last week and your name came up for a new pilot. Keep going to acting class. And he's been there 3 different times with 3 different clients, and every time I sit next to him like I'm writing and I'm not looking at him, I'm just listening to him blow smoke up this poor bastard's ass. He was there with a guy a couple weeks ago that I look like Mr. Olympia next to this fucking guy. And he's telling him there's a ton of rope. The guy was bending the chair. He had to weigh 6. He was an extra of a 600-pound man. This fucking dude. That's how big he was. He was bending
for like
the chair.
Other shots.
You know, and I felt like looking at him going, how many roles have you seen Ralphie May in? Then I go, listen, go fucking go on a diet. This guy's like, no, there's a new show on CBS coming out about fat guys that live together. Yeah, that's what they want to. What are they going to do? Show them breaking the bed? What the fuck they going to let them do?
That Kevin James show?
No. You know, it's just, it's so, like I don't ever want to redo or need to explain to people my first 3 or 4 years in this town. And I didn't fall... Guys, I could tell you guys right out as a man, I didn't fall for any of the bullshit. I went to a fucking meeting once. At this time, I had like 3 agents. And one of them was a bottom feeder. I still talk to him. He's out of the management business. But he sent me on an audition on a Saturday once. He goes, Joey, this movie looks interesting. Just go down there. It's an hour on a Saturday. And it was right down the block from me. It was across the street at Gardner Stages.
Yep.
Downstairs. Remember they used to do a comedy show there? One of your friends, what's his name?
Adam Grotman? No,
yes.
Dan Bilek.
Yeah, Dan Bilek used to do a show downstairs.
Yeah, and Gardner. Yeah.
Well,
downstairs.
This was 4 years ago when Dan was doing it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 1998 in that basement in July.
Yeah. I know.
On a Saturday at 9 a.m. in that thing with 40 guys dressed in mob suits and fucking... There was every different gang affiliation. Every different gang affiliation was in there. This guy was making the biggest gang mafia movie ever in Hollywood. You ready, guys? We got there on a Saturday at 9 o'clock. He promised food, a table read, and then auditioning. There was none of the above. What he wanted you there was to tell you that this is how you got the role in this movie. You had to get investors.
Oh, it's like a Bringer movie.
Yeah, it was like a Bringer movie. He would give you envelopes, and he was going to have a meeting a week later to see how many investors you got in a week with promissory notes. This was crazy. I sat there just giggling.
This sounds like a scheme where he doesn't
Oh my
end up
God,
shooting
Lee!
the movie.
No shit, Lee.
Oh no!
No, this was way before Kickstarter.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds
And
just like that.
Yeah, no, it was like that. It was like a human Kickstarter.
Oh, that's funny.
So he's like, whoever comes back next Saturday and at least has $25,000 in promissory notes.
What?
It's a good
And
idea.
you want me to tell you something, bro? I guarantee 3 of those people showed up.
I would have.
Just to be in a movie, Lee, you'd be surprised.
Would they be the people investing? Would they like invest for themselves? They'd like go to family?
Because that's what this guy's doing. He would get, if he asked 40 people in a room to give him 20 grand and 4 people showed up with 20 grand, that's 80. You could shoot something. I could shoot something for 80.
Well, at least if they shoot
You
something.
follow me?
Yeah.
I just imagined it was a guy coming into town,
Good idea.
getting like 80,000 and like piecing out and going to Mexico.
Listen, people shoot movies for no budget all the time. I personally don't believe in it because somewhere the movie's going to crash and burn. You have to have money for certain things. There's things that I could ask Brody Stevens to come with his microphone
Yeah.
and with his
Microphone.
cassette deck for 3 days. Brody, I need a big favor. We don't have the money, Brody. How long I know you? Just come by for 3 days.
Yeah.
Next time you do comedy, I'll come by you and do a free show.
No
Done.
problem.
But I can't go to Brody and go, Brody,
Yeah.
I need you for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 days a week for free. You can't. Yeah, and that's what these
I'll
people...
do some tweets for you.
That's what these people really want to do.
That much of a commitment?
Oh, fuck
that's
yeah.
That's insanity.
Oh, yeah. These people are crazy out here.
6 weeks
I
of
was
free.
doing
for-
those $100 a day movies.
Yeah.
I say 50% of the staff is getting paid. The rest of them are there sold on the experience package. If you do this, you get experience. Which, you know what, guys? If I move out here and I'm here and I got $2,000-$3,000 in the bank and I live with a roommate, my rent is $400, and I'm looking to get into the movie business, because that's how it happens. Not even get into the movie business. I'm looking to get into something. And somebody comes to me and says, listen, my friend's doing a movie and he's looking for free guy. You want to come in for 6 weeks? You know what? I got money in the bank. It's nice. I get to mingle, know people, and I'm working on a Hollywood movie. I would do it because I had no interest in the film. I don't want to be an actor. So I would go on a set for 6 and learn for free how to carry shit and shit.
Yeah, that's what I did. I
Yeah.
did that when I was taking my stand-up comedy course. I was also an intern on a USC master's thesis film. So I was a key grip. I was learning about lights. I was learning about where we shot in South Central Los Angeles, in the house where they came from under the stairs, the people from under the stairs. That movie, it was shot in that house, and then we did an overnight shoot on the Radford lot where they had Seinfeld going on and Roseanne. I remember riding a bicycle around. I went inside the Seinfeld set. But anyway, I worked on this film. I learned all about like catering, hours, Teamsters. But I also learned that I wanted to be the actor, the talent, but I was nowhere near ready. But I learned that I didn't want to be in movies. In fact, I did one other one. They wanted me to work for free. We did it at USC. So this is a different film. I'm up there, sitting up there with like freaking sandbags and stuff. And they go, so tomorrow, 6 a.m. in the desert. And then I go, F that. And so they had lunch break, and I just went to Burger King and left. I still got invited to the rap party, but that's when I walked away. I said, I know I'm not gonna do that direction. I want to do stand up. And like even when I moved up to Seattle, I worked at the Comedy Underground. I learned about seating a show. I learned about, a host, a guest spot, a middler, a headliner. But I wasn't like a huge comedy fan, actually. I still, I like laughing at my friends. It's different like when somebody's presenting things, and I'm weird. Maybe I'm just immature about that.
Now, my brother?
I'm 47. I just turned 47 May 22nd.
So I met you when you were 25.
Yeah, I was born in 70.
Yeah, 25.
So, no, I was probably 25. 25.
What the
Yep.
fuck you think you're dealing with? Joey Bananas here? Like I didn't know math?
25. I'm glad I went to Seattle. Because I grew up here in the Valley. I went to college in Arizona, and it was like just too much sunshine, too much, people don't develop stand-up in Arizona. I was a baseball player, I had that baseball. But I wanted to go up to Seattle and be around Pierce Steers and music and all that weird stuff. I knew I had to get out of L.A. And, I took that comedy course at UCLA, graduated at the Comedy Store, and I did that one open mic in Chatsworth, and I go, that ain't for me. I grew up here in the Valley. I can't have some host. I get it. I understand it because I played baseball. I learned all about groupthink and all that, playing baseball. It all comes into in life, playing sports, being at a high level. You do learn about discipline. When I played baseball at Arizona State, we represented the school. You couldn't get in trouble. It'd be in the newspaper. We got drug tested. But I learned just taught me discipline. But learning and getting picked on, Brody, you're the Jewish guy, gay guy, run weird, this, fucking punching me. But I knew that's how it was. I mean, I was liked in high school. I was a good pitcher. All of a sudden, so they try, and I go, I'm not going to quit. They didn't get me out of there, but I'm not a quitter. And I just stuck it out. I mean, I can go on a long story about that. But these guys were hard on me. And I didn't complain. They would go, oh, yeah, you're a Jewish guy. How did the Grand Canyon get started? Two, Jews fighting over a nickel in a squirrel hole. Oh, thanks for laughing, Lee. But you're Jewish, too. But I didn't care. That's kind of what it was. Because I played baseball also in high school, and I was around football. So it just made me tougher. It made me strong, and I just rose above it. They would say, "Oh, Brody, you're Jew," or something. I go, "Well, Jesus was Jewish," and they get pissed, like these Christian guys. But they're good friends. Like, it was kind of a hazing thing, because I got picked on at Reseda High School growing up, and it's different getting picked on by inner city kids. You got it, malicious. I'd rather get hazed by a Christian. That's okay. That's I don't need to be gang jumped into something. I'm so upset with politics. It stressed me out big time.
When I first met you, I used to break your balls constantly.
You were? Yes, you were.
You used to make me laugh. And I used to break your balls because we had a friend and he did porn. And I asked you if you did porn. Like, you used to do porn with me. You were an extra on a porn movie, and I would throw Josh Wolf under the bus. And then you had that cable access show, and I would torment your life about the cable access show till you put me on. I think it was you.
I think you're on it.
Oh, my God. I'm looking at you, and all these memories are coming back.
Seattle was a great scene. It was really, I don't know how it is now, but we were just
Still
up there
great.
at a great time.
Still great. Still great for comedy. A lot of young comics up there is what I hear. Our Ron Reed moved to Arizona.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, so I don't know who's going to... Phoenix or something?
Oh, wow.
So I don't know who's going to run the contest and all that. So listen, Brody, when I was a kid, I loved basketball.
Yeah.
I loved fucking basketball. Lee, look it up. What year did the Seattle Supersonics go to the NBA Finals?
When in the 90s? Are you talking about the one against the Bulls?
The 70s.
Yeah, 79, I think. 78, 79. They beat the Washington Bullets. One of those years.
77.
77, I think, was Portland.
And I know, 70 it was Julius serving.
They won in 79.
79, yes.
There you go.
Well, you're a bad motherfucker.
Something like... Well, my cousins lived there. I saw that team.
I didn't know anything about
JCC.
Seattle. And one day, the basketball team is great, and they started showing pictures of the city when they were up there.
Yeah.
To show the stadium before they played. I'm like, what an interesting fucking city. Okay? And then that was it. I just made a mental note. And then in 87 or 88 or 89, I'm in a movie theater watching Goodfellas, and they're talking about how he ended up in Seattle, Washington. This is way before the internet. How does a gang mafia dude from the city, well, he ended up being a moron, but how does a guy from Brooklyn end up in Seattle? So I always thought about fucking Seattle. And anytime something good happened, and then they had the football team, who I love, Jim Zorn. One night I bet San Diego against Seattle or something on Monday Night Football. I don't know what year it was, Lee. Let me tell you something. Jim Zorn put such a beating on me in 3 or 4 minutes that I ended up liking them after that. So I was always intrigued by by Seattle. And then when I first started doing comedy, just like you, I started 2 years before you. There was a publication that came out of San Francisco called...
Was it a comedy magazine?
Yes. That John Fox and his company put out. And they interviewed comics. They told you different. They previewed clubs. If a new club was opening, they'd do a write-up about the club.
Right.
It was a really good magazine. It really was. And the most interesting thing about it was the last 3 pages was all the open mics in the country, like that, were big-time open mics. Then the last 2 pages were all the comedy clubs with the insignia of the club. And Seattle's was the coolest. Remember that insignia they gave you with the fucking...
Black and the white. The black and the white?
No. What was that picture of the... See if you come up with Seattle Comedy Competition. Look at this.
The Globe? Was it a Globe?
The Globe with the dude holding it.
Yeah.
Or something like this. Watch how cool this is, Lee. This stuck out in that fucking newspaper like... And I always...
Should I search in like the 90s or?
No, Seattle Comedy Competition.
That's it. Okay.
That's it. Preston's Seattle Comedy Competition or the Comedy Underground.
There's just something about the Northwest, the fresh air.
I knew nothing about that shit.
Until you got there?
I didn't know nothing about salmon. I knew nothing about fucking nothing. I knew Henry Hill went there. I knew that the Supersonics were there.
Yeah.
And then something really fucking happened. I discovered a band called Soundgarden. And I was like, oh, see right there all the way. You see that?
Yeah, that one.
Even that was up in this newspaper. That thing right there was something that they had in the news in this publication. And I was like, that one. And I circled that club. And every time I would go to a comedy club and they had the new issue of that magazine, I would look to see what comedy clubs were opening, what was closing, and I'd always circle that fucking club. And for some reason, I wanted to go to fucking Seattle. Then Soundgarden comes out. I'm hearing about this heroin. I'm hearing about all this shit up there. Not one thing that I hear about comedy, I didn't really ask. I didn't think in my mind I was in the level to go to Seattle. Like I was just getting it together in Boulder, in Denver area. Mm-hmm. And then I went to fucking Michigan to do my first feature act. Mm-hmm. And I met a fucking stripper.
Oh.
And she said she was going to Seattle. And then she said, I'll swing by Boulder and get you. And that was the plan. And I didn't hear from her for a week. And one day I got a call. She's in Boulder. She came to get you. So I gave her my stuff, and I was up there 10 days later. And then we went down.
That's a crazy romantic comedy, just like it's just
Can you fucking believe that? I met a Memorial Day weekend, and I was in Seattle 5 weeks later. Remember how I tell you that people always say, well, I'm going to go to Seattle and do comedy. That's my dream. So what are you doing now? Well, right now, I'm working at Starbucks, putting away money. Listen, you're never going to put that money away. That's a resistance. Read the book, The Art of War. That's a resistance. What you need to do is go get the most expensive job you could get right now. I don't give a fuck what it is. If it's taking shit out of a box and they give you $14 an hour and they got overtime, you're going to do that for 30 days.
Okay.
And at the end of the 30, even if you put $100 a week away, at the end of the 4 weeks, you got $400. You got your car, you got your health, and I'm sure your grandmother will throw you an extra $250, and that's $650. You could start a new fucking life with $650. How do I know? Because I've started a new life with $200. So you're not going to tell me no motherfucking stories. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Are you saying $650 today? Or is that back then?
I'm talking about...
What's the
when
rate
you want to
today?
go, you go, Brody Stevens.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I went to Seattle.
These people look you in the face and go, well, my dream is to move to New York. And listen.
That was one of my dreams.
The more you bullshit with you got to put away money, the more you're going to die. Because if you really have a dream, you'll live in a shelter and you'll get a job tap dancing.
Oh, I don't want to go to a
until
shelter.
you'll fucking listen. Dog, I lived in a car. I sacrificed LA in a car. Do you think when I got into comedy, I told you I was going to live in a car?
Maybe.
But then I heard Stanhope was doing it. This guy was doing it. This guy was doing it. One night I fell asleep in the car and I woke up. I didn't need 80 chiropractors.
Oh,
like,
it helped your back.
No, I go, this ain't that bad. I realized I could take showers at the Comedy Store and I could pay child support plus no cocaine, plus eat and survive in L.A.
Yeah.
By saving that little money every month. Then Gavin would help me out. I'd
Gavin
sleep on
Boyd.
his couch from time to time. You know, it was a struggle. And then I kind of moved in with Gavin, then I moved in with my wife, and the rest is fucking history here. But, you know, if you told me, Joey, when you get into comedy, you're going to be homeless at one point, you're like, well, describe homeless. Homeless is the scariest fucking word in the world, because the first thing you think of is that dude by 7-Eleven who had a blanket on himself this morning next to the fucking tanks where they fill in for barbecue. I swear to God, the one on Magnolia this morning, by the park,
Right.
there was just a dude laying there like a mummy, covered from head to toe, next to the tanks. 20 years ago, I would have shot a BB into those tanks, blown him, the fucking chick he had with him, the dog. I mean, when you think of homeless, that's what you think of.
Okay.
No. Let me tell you what homeless is. Having money, having a job, and for some reason or another, you lost your apartment. And God, you know what? Thank God you have a car, because you're never homeless. There were times I was homeless with a car, and there was times I was homeless without a car. And guess what? Both times I survived.
My seat doesn't go back anyway. The button to lie down. No, I can sleep in my car. I have to go in the back seat and curl up.
Sure.
The one I really want to talk to are the RV people that I've never seen, and that sounds terrible, but
The RV people.
I didn't see that on the East Coast. Like, I never really saw people living in RVs, but here it's everywhere.
Well, if you think about
It seems awesome.
All right.
I totally
You want to talk
get
about
it.
mistakes as a comedian?
Yes.
What a fucking
Okay.
mistake.
Buying a
What a
trailer
mistake.
like that?
After you're doing comedy 3 or 4 years,
Yeah.
you have to decide what you want to do. In this economy, you're not just going to send resumes and a tape. So the best thing you could do is that $400 you saved. You fucking fill up the tanks. You get peanut butter, jelly, ramen. You put water in that shower, and you live in an RV, and you go cross country, going to comedy clubs.
Fuck yeah. Because then you
That's
wouldn't
exciting.
You wouldn't have to worry about the condos.
6 months. You just go to every night. You perform somewhere else, and if there's no show, there's a show now, because you're there with a microphone and 2 speakers. That's how you do comedy in the beginning. That's how people.
I like that idea.
No, that's
Not
how
now.
you do it.
Yeah, today, is that still plausible?
Oh my God, Brody, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You're single.
I need to do it.
You're free. You know, you could get somebody to sponsor you, Brody, and call it the Brody Stevens RV show.
I want to go to. I want to
Okay,
do
you
You should
club
do it for
You
baseball season.
like rock.
You
I
should-
know. I need help, Lee.
You can. You know what?
I don't know
Listen,
how.
At this point, you don't need help. What you could do is there's a thing that is your best friend.
What, internet?
Unbelievably, what you could do on the internet on a nickel's worth.
I still need help.
And it would take you. I could get you an executive producer by tomorrow.
I love baseball. I have access.
I could talk to him tomorrow morning, and he could do the whole thing with you. He could double executive producer, road manager, driver, and keep your head together.
Yeah.
So that means it's going to cost you a big percentage. Nobody works for this gratis. Yeah.
Well, what about? I'll give him. What about? I have to have merch too. He'll help me with that.
He'll help you with the merch, and he won't take a piece of your merch.
Here's, I did a festival few weeks ago, and one of the rock bands, they liked what I was doing, and they thought it'd be a good idea, maybe opening. They wanted a comedian to open up with them on the road, and they were pretty cool guys, like pretty straight laced guys. I rocked out. They were called Diarrhea Planet. They're out of Nashville, but they rock.
You have no idea that, like I told you before the podcast started, you still have that same insecurity I have.
Yeah.
That you're not good
I feel
enough.
better
Listen,
now.
At this point, it's over. At this point, if they didn't get it by now, Brody, they're not going to get it.
But can I say one thing?
Go ahead, say what the fuck you want.
I have, I get it, people get it, but I haven't, because I did so much audience warm-up behind the scenes, and I got great at that, but it also stifled, I feel like, my stand-up career, because I was getting that paycheck, I was getting that mic time, I was meeting everybody, I was getting opportunities, but I also knew that I had this consistent warm-up gig, usually at Best Damn Sports Show, where you were. And I also had a connection with baseball. I always wanted to be around baseball.
All right, so here's the fucking deal. Right now, it's June. Nobody gives a fuck about baseball yet.
Right.
Because Houston's running away with it. It's a fucking nightmare.
Right.
So, right now, what you could do is the next 3 weeks is make a few. You sit down, you honestly look at yourself, you sit down, and you get a piece of paper and a pencil. All right.
Piece of paper, pencil. See, I should be doing a weekly podcast
And you got to ask
where I
yourself,
have structure. Like
what
you
do
have
I need?
structure.
What do I need?
I need structure.
I need an RV.
Oh, no.
I need a driver. Okay.
I like an
And I
RV.
need tickets to baseball games.
Okay.
Okay. I need
Field
press
pass.
package, field pass. All right. Which is all easy. And
But
you
can I
need
say one
hotels.
thing?
Yeah.
MLB's weird. You can't necessarily show logos or
I
anything
understand.
like
You're not going to show a fucking logo. This is Welcome to Brody Stevens' world.
Like, yes, I'm here
This
at
is
the Dodger
September.
Stadium. You got it. It's just
Yeah,
even me just
yeah,
talking
yeah.
to the camera at the
That's
stadium.
it. You already
just
got
in the
Periscope.
environment.
Yeah,
you already got
Periscope.
Periscope.
I'm
This is
walking in the
Periscope.
parking lot. What's going
This
on?
is Periscope September.
Yeah.
After a fucking month of the playoff coverage, and once they get by the World Series, Fox will be hunting you down around the corner.
I tried to have them do that
Don't
last
worry
year.
about it. Right now, you got the world by the balls. You have the experience.
I don't know. Yes, I do.
All you need is
You have the
what you need
experience.
is a sponsorship from an RV company.
Ooh,
Okay?
sponsorship.
We need an RV company to sponsor you this.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to spring for the driver. So we're gonna combine this into a comedy tour, Life of Brody.
Life of Brody,
Okay? Don't even mention baseball.
because it
But
involves
still,
everything.
it still involves pulling over on the side of the road, doing kettlebells,
Absolutely.
smoking reefer, going to Subway and taping black people shuffling and nodding.
Like with my Instagram, like my Instagram
Yeah,
videos.
this is full fledged.
It's just having fun.
the most important is this guy that's driving and whatever. You got to rock his world.
Who's he?
Whoever.
Where do I find him? Are the
Don't
guys who
worry
do that?
about it.
Okay.
I got to make one call and you're hooked up.
Okay.
All right. Number two, you're gonna, the RV, two people sleep, but
I was-
every 3 or 4 nights you got to stop at a hotel and wash your ass. Cool,
Right.
And get away from him.
Wi-Fi.
He needs to get away
You
from
could
you.
also get a hotel sponsor.
Wi-Fi.
Can I'm in this. Could I really get sponsorship for stuff? Because
Yes.
I'm open to
Yes.
it. I need
Yes.
help.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I mean, would you?
You could do all this.
You think he should only have the RV sponsor?
No, he could have the RV sponsor.
Vitamins.
He could
I like
have,
that. I'm into
vitamins.
Yes.
He could have hotel, maybe. I mean, what kind of hotel you looking for? How fast? Remember, this is all corporate. So if you're looking to do it this September, and everybody goes on vacation in July.
Drum lessons in different cities.
But I
Public
could see
speaking.
a national RV company. Every city you stop in, do a Periscope live with the amount of numbers, print up the amount of numbers, print up the times that you do the Periscope, and let's do a sample. Let's go from a Dodger game to an Anaheim game, 2 games in one day,
Right.
and let's show it that way. Let me give some shout outs. Hold on one second. And we'll get
I don't know.
back to
I had another idea.
Organization is the key, and this is not a lot of things to organize. This is not a lot of moving parts here. Brandon Gonzalez, you know I love you. Fudge Packing 101 Matt, I love it. Alan Stevens, stay with me, baby. Jack W. Lewis May 23. Mike Pinock. Caleb Bass and OG Dunkhead Damon. Are you kidding me or what? Do not forget about the Brea Improv tomorrow night. Do not forget about the fucking working out with Uncle Joey on the 15th at the Ice House. And do not forget about Governors the 24th and 25th. We ain't fucking around. 2 shows. Chinese food, the whole fucking thing. People stabbing. Anyway, but don't worry about that shit. All you need to worry about is Brea tomorrow night. That's all you need to worry about. If you got if you're not doing dick tomorrow night, Lee Syatt doesn't even know what's gonna hit him tomorrow night. He's tomorrow night. We're going for broke. All right. Anyway, we were
We're going for
talking.
broke tonight.
No. Tonight's just a warming up for tomorrow night.
I didn't know that.
Here's the deal, brother. This is a very easy thing. You have to contact Periscope. You have to contact. I can hook you up with a few people that maybe throw you some ads on the Periscope.
The comedy club is
me on
because
these. Comedy clubs don't give a fuck.
I need here. Honestly, I need structure. That's what. If people tell me where to go, what to do, be Brody, do this,
Book
do
the
that,
comedy clubs on the way.
like a one-nighter
cities you
deal,
wanna go
or
to.
do a rock club.
Okay, who looks right now like they're going to the World Series or the playoffs? If the season ended today,
Astros,
we're going.
Nationals, Dodgers, probably maybe not Dodgers. Just throwing them out there.
You don't want the Dodgers because then you have to do a comedy show here. You do comedy here every fucking night. We need to get you to playoff cities.
And then what do I do in these cities?
What do you do in this city?
Yeah, let's say there's
you get up nice and early and you go to the hot spot where people eat breakfast with my camera dude. You take a camera dude with you. You sit down. You eat. You explain the food. You pray.
right.
Then you go exercise.
Okay.
And then you go to
On Periscope.
On Periscope. Then you can go visit the baseball players that you were friends with and go see what they're doing and interview them, maybe. You're walking on thin toes, but this is advertising, baby. This is Brody Stevens. I've been coming to you for years. Now I got to walk in here like a pirate.
No, I'm down by the field. I
Okay.
I have a pass. I'm legitimate.
Okay, so we get you.
So these guys are going to act different in front of me as opposed to somebody they don't know. They're going to be more open with me.
You ever see that scene in fucking Apocalypse Now when they land and it's actually Oliver Stone directing, and that and I know he directs the movie. Now, there's a scene when the people land. Martin Sheen lands with the other fucking guy, Tom Hayden and the Godfather Duval, when they land, and as they're splitting up into to kill the Vietnamese people, there's a director there going, keep moving, don't look at the camera, That'd be the funny thing.
Yeah.
Every time you shake somebody's hand, just be natural, don't look at the camera, and just talk to them. So you have a hook always to go in there, you talk to them, ask them how they're feeling, blah 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 blah. Go to the other side, pick your favorite player on the other side, go talk to him. If it's an afternoon game, take the comedy show at 10 o'clock at the comedy club.
Right.
Take a percentage of the door and go in there. So now after the baseball game, but that's tricky because after a baseball game, nobody's going to go to a comedy club, but you're absolutely going to have different people who watch you on Periscope.
But can you,
Right.
They're fans of what you do, so they're going to actually pay to go watch you. So you can finance these little trips that way also. I don't know if you're going to be, listen, you're my brother. I wish you only the best. I want you to sell out theaters and auditoriums.
Well, I don't know.
But listen, 100 tickets is 100 tickets.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm fine with rock clubs.
You
At
could
20 fucking bucks.
you could spend more than one day in each city. So what if he went to the game and was being Brody and advertised his show at the club the next night? It would be sold out.
Yeah, you do great, Brody. There's an angle here, Brody.
I just need to,
Listen,
you know what?
Brody,
I
you're
just
not
need
the
to take
conventional
action.
comic. Okay, I
Writing-
came to terms
Writing good job.
10 years ago that I'm not the conventional comic. Johnny Carson ain't calling. Jay Leno ain't calling. Ain't nobody fucking calling Uncle Joey. Everything I've had, I had to fucking earn. And wherever they end up, I end up. And I'm very happy because I'm here. I'm still here. We go all the way back to Seattle.
Yeah.
1995. How many people from that era do you see at the Comedy Store Sunday night when I was sitting next to you? Be honest with you. Tell the people at home. How many fucking people that
None.
we were up there with are still down here?
Oh, Josh.
Josh Wolf.
Craig Gass is around.
Craig Gass is around.
From that era.
No.
Nobody really.
No. So how fortunate are we? I ended up in Seattle by mistake, dog. But yesterday when I was talking to Josh, he says he still remembers sitting with you at the volcano.
The volcano.
With Tana
Right.
and Mark Gardner.
Okay.
And you all had your notebooks out. And he goes, life was so different then. I have an interesting story about the volcano.
Is that the cafe?
Yes.
Oh,
Some cafe.
Not the Bulldog.
And he goes, some days you really miss that. You really miss that part of comedy, how you were really hungry. And I go, if anybody's still really hungry, it's Brody. That's what we were talking about yesterday. And he goes, I guess you're right. I go, no, I can't. I don't have the cardio to what we had in Seattle. I was sleeping 5 hours a night in Seattle.
Right.
And it was either doing blow or because I was in love with comedy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get better at it. And if anybody who has ever done anything and they want to get better at it, either from being an electrician to being a painter, you guys know what I'm talking about when it keeps you up at night. When comedy keeps you up at night thinking of your plan, that means you fucking love it. Only women keep guys up at night, or bills, or somebody being sick in your family. But to stay up at night thinking about the love you have for comedy and how good you want to be on it while you're sleeping in an office above Josh Wolf's Mexican restaurant where you're paying $125 a month and you got a little mattress with a pillow and a blanket, and I thought I was the king of the fucking world then. I was, what was I? 100 yards from the Comedy Underground. At that time, I thought the Underground, that particular one, I don't know what the new one is like,
Yeah.
but that particular one, to me, I still rank it the top 5 stage I've ever stepped on. I owe that stage so much.
Low ceilings.
That one
Wood.
downstairs, the cockroaches, the water bugs on the
The
nachos,
bathroom.
The
You have to like
bathroom.
pull a chain to flush it. Like, was there like a chain you would pull to go to?
You had to walk up the stairs and walk down the stairs, but when you walked up the stairs, you opened up the door and there was a jukebox, and there were always people at the bar. The
Swannies.
Filipino guy who was working, and poor fucking Swanee, Jesus. You still see him when you go up there?
I think it's closed down, isn't it?
I have no idea.
I think Swanee's is gone.
Well, Swanee's is gone, but then he reopened the bar with a bunch of people where Josh Wolf's old Mexican bar was.
Oh, okay.
So he hired Josh
Over
Wolf.
there.
Right.
Gotcha. Recently?
Yeah, Josh was in Seattle running.
To help him
Mexican.
out?
No. This is 1996,
Oh,
Brody.
I'm sorry.
For the
No,
love
I
of
know
Christ.
about that. I remember that.
97, he hired him.
I went in for the meeting. I worked at Red Robin. I had experience.
What Red Robin did you work at?
The one on East Lake, the original Red Robin.
Come on.
Yeah, Gavin Boyd got me the interview. Gavin was like an assistant chef at the Red Robin in
Listen,
over in
let's
Kirkland.
Hold on, time out.
Assistant
Let's
chef.
get it together. There's no assistant chef.
sous chef.
There's no sous chef.
Yes, there was.
At Red Robin,
Yeah.
you fuck, and all the materials come already
A
prepared.
sous chef.
What sous chef? There's no sous chef.
They had him at Red Robin.
Listen, you go to Red Robin, there's 3 Mexicans, and they all call themselves Juan just in case.
Well,
You
we
know
had
what I'm saying?
food runners.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have food runners too, but
I worked at the
there's
original
no fucking chefs at
sous
Apple.
chef. I remember. Ask
And don't
Gavin.
get- and listen.
Ask Gavin.
And listen, don't get me wrong. I love Red Robin.
Yeah.
Those cheeseburgers at Red Robin.
The fries.
The fries,
The
steak
refills.
fries.
I might. You know what?
Oh
I
my
may
God.
go.
Where is it? It's up in Tujunga Canyon. No.
Topanga. There's one
It's
over
a,
at
no,
Topanga.
no.
Red
It's at the
Robin?
mall. Yeah. Me and my wife went up there with the baby.
Topanga.
And Red Robin, and we were like,
Over in-
what? Remember, I called Lee. And
Oh,
I go,
yeah.
Lee, I'm at Red Robin having a cheeseburger with steak fries,
Oh yeah.
bitch.
Steak fries.
What?
Topanga Mall. That's where I was in that Red Robin when I found out that Kobe got caught for rape. That was 2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago. No, there's a joke there, but I really was when Jim Hill announced it. That was big. You know, where
I was
were
in the
you?
mall when I found out Magic had AIDS.
Yeah, where was I for that? That was
I
a
was
shocker.
at Boulder Mall, and I was getting rose water lemonade. Lee, you would have drank 18 of these at 4 a pop.
Why would I drink rose water?
Lee, you never drank anything
I've had
so
rose
good. in your-
water. I like lemonade, but
Oh, no. This is lemonade made with rose water. This is 20 to life, no parole.
Magic, that was so surreal. That was surreal. The OJ, just the magic. You just couldn't believe that.
OJ, it was basketball season. It was the playoffs. And I was at my main man, Danny Feebles, at one of our softball games. And we were waiting for the pigeon to land, if you know what I'm talking about. And the pigeon was landing big. In those days, I had held out like 5 days.
Pigeon.
I was washing cars at National Rent-A-Car in Boulder. I was delivering sandwich with the Deli Zone dudes. I was putting it together, Lee. I was delivering Chinese food. I was slinging a little bit, but we had a different connection. And he sold
you were
us.
slinging some pigeon.
I was doing
Chicks.
everything.
Getting chicks.
I wasn't getting no chicks.
Oh, you had a
but-
girlfriend.
No, I had nothing in Boulder at this time.
Oh.
I was just a single dude. From time to time, I'd bump into a victim. I'd go celibate for like a fucking 8 months, and then I'd bump into a chick that would take me to the cleaners. I wouldn't know what happened.
Yeah,
And
I
I
knew
was no
those.
good. They get me one time, they know I'm no good. I'm all coked out. I do a couple dirty things, but besides that, I'm no good.
Free porn has really changed the game. I think
I don't like porn.
it's quick and easy.
Have you looked at what I like, Brody? Like the live cameras.
Oh, no, I haven't.
I like that. It's just people. It's you can watch people and it's right there. It's happening live.
Could you send me the link, please?
Yeah, it's chatterbait.com.
Chatterbait. And you can watch people have sex live?
Yeah, it's crazy. Couples, girls.
Is it free?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you guys later. See you later. No, I'm slurring my words because I take the Klonopin.
Lee, you're disgusting. I can't believe you sit there and watch those naked people. Why didn't your parents do a nice job with your naked live people? Do you even donate $1?
Fuck no.
What type? See, that's what I'm saying.
Why would I donate $1?
Because you're watching them.
They have people doing that. They have people who talk to them.
They get advertising, right?
No, they don't get advertising, but they get people to send them Amazon gift cards and.
That's what I get.
Some chick showing you they put the pussy right by the camera?
Yeah, they'll do whatever you want.
Oh, you ask them to?
If I've never asked for anything. If I was going to ask for something, they ask you to tip.
They got scratch and snip?
That's coming in 2018.
That's on Apple 2018.
They accept PayPal,
oh my God,
of course, right?
That new Apple computer's $5,000.
Which one?
I know that it means nothing. It's an iMac, like the new version of this computer, Joey. If we had to rebuy this, it's $5,000, and this one was like $1,900 when we bought it 4 years ago.
But it's a desktop, right?
Oh, you just put the kiss of death on it. This is gonna go down in a week, cocksucker.
Oh no, it's working great.
No, that's how Apple hasn't programmed, dog.
But like what?
Apple hasn't programmed.
They
right now, they're like, "Are you ready to press the button?" Yep. Bzz, and all of a sudden, 2 million computers go out. We all run into the store, 5 million a piece, 5 G's a piece. They go in fucking Forbes. They made 82 million in 15 minutes, sure, because they zapped everybody's computer real quick.
My battery's slow. I have a slow battery.
It's crazy, Lee. What a fucking racket they've created, Apple.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They're like communism. They got you hooked.
Everything is, though.
Yeah, they really got you hooked to corporations. I've seen the growth.
Once you
globalism, capitalism.
I've lived through the growth.
Yes, we have.
And it's been amazing. The different. I don't know how to word this without it sounding just the growth of everything.
I love GPS. That's positive.
Once you make a decision with computers or phones, it's kind of hard to get off of it. Because you learn something, all your things are in certain ways. So I would love to switch to an Android, but I don't really have the time to learn a new phone. I'm going to get the new iPhone. Even though this phone was shitty from the very beginning. I got one of those duds, but they wouldn't do anything about it.
I'm happy you shared that with me.
But if you don't get the new iPhone, it's the old one will slow down eventually.
Yeah,
the old one's got a button in it too.
That's what that was.
They
my
see
point.
the expert. One night you're on the phone with your cousin, and the phone zaps, and then you try to turn it on, it turns back on, and all of a sudden there's no numbers, and all of a sudden you got on the Apple, and they read you the bad news. Listen, your phone, either this, or you can wait 2 weeks, and there's a prison in fucking Ohio where they refix the phones and send them back to you. But before they send them to you, they suck all the information out, and if you got dirty pictures, they pass them around the inbox for $10 a picture. They whack off on pictures of your grandmother holding a cat and shit.
Joey, that's not far from the truth.
That's the truth. I wouldn't lie to you guys.
And
all of a sudden they send it back. What do you think fix those old phones for $3.50 an hour? And they sit there welding back. It's prison inmates somewhere.
But you know what they're doing? For example, because I just got a ticket. I was in Arizona and I got one of those photo tickets sent to me, and I was going 45 and a 36. No, 40. No, 40. 35. I was going 46. I was going 46 and a 35 in Arizona, and they got me on like some photo thing. So I guess what's that? 11 miles over.
No, is that still legal, the camera?
It's not in California.
But I was in Arizona.
Well, the red light ones aren't, I'm pretty sure.
This was a speeding one.
The red lights are legal?
I believe they're not. I can check it.
Well, they got me. And then, so I paid it, and then Hertz, because they get it sent, then you have to pay a processing fee. And then, you know what? Eventually, it's going to be like, oh, he got a ticket. Now, automatically, his insurance goes up. Automatically, he gets points on his record. It's all, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy guy, but you're starting to see stuff like that. Everything's automated. Everything's this. And
I'm going to get a ticket for today.
You're going to get a ticket? Why? You're parked right there.
No, I'm going to get a ticket for today, guys.
Why?
I had a conference call, and everywhere I fucking turned, there was fucking traffic. I pull up to the left, and a lady in front of me, the light turns green, and she's in another fucking planet. I knew I was dead. I'm stuck behind it for like 2 miles at 22 miles an hour. I couldn't go around it because unchristian-like. So I took the fucking beating.
Oh.
And I'm like 4 minutes from the office. And I pull up over here by the fire department. And they're doing construction there. They got me waiting out there. Some little chubby fireman with fucking stop signs and shit. Pass and go. He would let one car every 8 minutes. I'm dead. So I made the right there, cut across. I was the first guy on the green light there, but there's a bus station there. And when I made the right, I heard they took a bunch of pictures. I was on camera.
You could hear it?
Yeah. I heard it. I was on candid camera, Jack.
No. Well, maybe that.
Yeah.
Was it a red light?
Yeah.
Wait, no, here.
But you said the Flash, actually.
This is in the LA Weekly. So it says,
I'm telling you, I'm going to get some.
Goldsmith has ruled against questions about whether or not you have to pay a red light ticket. Pretty much you still don't. But, oh, Jesus Christ, it's every...
I was at Arizona, got me. So, paid it, and what can you do? And it probably takes points on my record, and maybe I should have done traffic school, but F it. Hopefully I'll book a gig and cover it all, because I haven't booked that gig yet. You know, I should have a special, which I shot, and it's not out yet necessarily. I should have an album. I did so much warm-up. But, Joey, everything you've said is right. You told me to go to New York. You're giving me structure here. You're giving me... I mean, like I said, I need male energy. I was raised by, my parents were divorced, my mom, my sister. That's why I don't want to get political, but I said, that Hillary stuff doesn't work. It's going to stress you out. I grew up in it. I was bused. I did the private school. And I knew right away those private school kids were weird. They were weird. They were kind of elitist. I saw it. I was uncomfortable. I'm a good guy. So I would get picked on by the elitist types. And also, I would get picked on by, like, blue-collar guys. I get picked on by elitists, and I get picked on by African Americans. That's what I got picked on. And you saw, like, the different energies between... but that's kind of stuff made me a comedian, getting picked on. I say, thank God I did that, because I right now, I use it as fuel. And I'm saying, like, I'm a little high, that's what happens. But the point is, I'm thankful. That's why sports, getting hazed, being a rookie, having to do those kind of, treated that way helps you, makes you a stronger stand-up. Having these problems, Today, I guess, you could be a good-looking guy, have a perfect life, and be funny. And, that's a way to go, too, I guess. But is that right? I mean, isn't it funny, kind of, still, when the guy's in pain and suffering? But it seems like these days you don't have to.
It'd be great to be.
Sorry about that. Those stars are getting to me.
The stars are getting to you? But
sure.
I'm just I'm stressed out because everything you talk about bills. Joey, you were on Best Damn Sports Show. I've seen it. You've been in the movies. I feel I was in the movies too. It's like extra pressure. I was telling my mom today, it was like, I'm willing to live in my car too, not necessarily for comedy, but for my mom. I got to take care of her. I can't do it, but I can sleep on her couch for 14 days. And then I could, like, live in the van, 14 days on the couch. I'm not a mama's boy, but my sister's not doing it. She's working. I got comedy.
Why do you have to go to the couch? Why do you have to go to the van?
Well, I get one day, or I guess I could I could do an Airbnb.
How many casinos are in Palm Springs?
Went to one last night out in Indio.
How many are there?
Probably like 5 in that area.
Why don't we put the small room together?
Yeah.
Give when you're down there with your mom,
have a gig.
Take care of her in the daytime and at night. Make sure she's in bed. Water, the 911 button.
Yeah.
And you shoot over. You do your hour and a half. Brody Stevens presents. And even if you start with 3 people, it's a different market. Brody, your mind.
God, you're so...
I do not believe with comedy you can waste so much time, Brody.
On Periscope, right?
I don't know.
Tweeting.
Brody.
Instagram. I'm wasting time.
If you think I'm happy with the results of my life, you're crazy. But it's interesting to me that I'm still here amongst you guys. That's very interesting to me.
Interesting.
So I say to myself every day, wow, the other night I was in the hallway at the Comedy Store waiting to go up. And there's a lot of pictures in there that you don't really... I don't go in there. I don't go in the booth where people pay to go in. I never go in that room. I saw comics that were fucking there kicking ass, and they're not even in LA anymore. I thought these guys would be here forever. They're gone, Lee. Gone.
Where did they go? Back off into a regular life somewhere?
Yeah, I don't know what happens. Because I got into this to do this to the fucking end. But before I go up, I'm like, I can't believe I'm still doing spots here 20 fucking years later. So I know how lucky we are. But at the same time, I'm not as insecure about my skills as I used to be. Like for years when I got here, I was always very insecure. So that's why when I went on stage, at the Comedy Store especially, if I got 15 minutes, I gave you 15 minutes of thunder. You know what I'm saying?
What was it like back then?
When we got here in 97?
Yeah. Well, you were there for 3 years. Yeah,
I was the 12:45 guy.
Right, yeah.
I was the 1 a.m. guy, 1:15, 12:45.
Right.
12:30 was the earliest I went up.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'd be walking through the hallway, and they go, Joey, you want to go up now and do your spot? Fuck yeah, 10:30, I'm out of there. I could snort blow and shit.
So what was the vibe like in 97, 98, 99?
You hate it.
Really? It was more negative back then, right?
No. It was a different comic from 8. In those days, it was always Argus. And then it was just comics, a lot of comics I don't even remember. I don't even know if they're in the game anymore. So they were the before 11 o'clock comics.
Right.
They had credits and shit like that. Then in those days, Paul Mooney would come in, and then after that, there was an array of comics. I was part of the array of comics after Paul Mooney. And I would always follow Paul Mooney. So I would have to go up there while people was getting up and walking out. So I had 2 minutes of just refocusing them.
Right.
Which taught me a lesson there.
That's a skill.
And then how to... It's 12:45. They've listened to everything already by now. Just go. Just start talking and keep machine gunning them. And you remember little bits that you were going to drop on them.
Yep.
And it's 12:45. A joke you wrote that you think is brilliant is going to die a slow death. And then you have to dig yourself out of a hole that fucking 10 Vietnamese can't dig themselves out of. You understand me? Just fucking cut the joke in half. Go for it. Go for the fucking punchline. And run from there. Get them first laughing hard. And hope that the rest... And if you get them hard at 12:45... It's like when you're in high school and you play football. First play, everybody knows. First play. Whoever the fuck you're standing across from, you're going to look them in the eye and you're going to let them know, listen, this is the first play. This is your shot to let me know who you are, or I got to let you know who the fuck I am. Whenever I went on stage, that's always the mentality. That's why people used to say, I hate comedy. How do they expect you to perform in 3 minutes? I used to be the king of 3 minutes.
Just got to push, just right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate. Why fuck around? Whatever the fucking comic in front of his voice was, you're going to be a little bit louder, but not too loud. And you're going to learn how to pitch your voice outward instead of this way. That's what's going to make that room act differently.
You move your voice even though you were using a microphone?
Jesus Christ, after 20 years, I thought about this, and I watched me a couple of weeks ago. I saw myself do it. How, especially in the main room. Listen, somebody in front of you, like Chris D'Elia goes up in front of you in the main room, and you have to follow that. That's death.
That's hard.
That's death, G. So you got 39 seconds after Chris D'Elia. Or you're going to have a long night. How do I know? I lived that horror show about twice already. I did good behind the eye in the main room, in the original room.
Yeah.
I brought you up there.
Yeah. That was fun.
Because there's two different energies in those rooms.
Yeah, well, main room compared to the OR.
I could be dying in the original room and kick it up after the 8-minute mark. Because I know it's the energy.
Yeah.
And once I feel that energy, I got to pray for that second right to land.
Yeah.
And if that second right lands, we're taking a ride for the last 7 minutes.
Yes.
I will get off on the big applause as soon as I see that big light, and I'll walk out of there smelling like a rose.
Yep.
It's just like going into a 15-round fight, losing the first 8 rounds, and winning the last fucking 7, not to mention you knock them out with 10 seconds left.
Yes.
That's the journey.
Yes.
That's the journey. And a lot of people don't want to take that journey because those 8 minutes of hell. Me, I've lived in hell, motherfucker. That don't do nothing to Uncle Joey. I've been up there for 20 minutes and nobody's left. 8 minutes is an eternity, but I know at some point I have jokes that I could turn this room around, or I could just lose my fucking mind and then rely on the jokes later. If I lose my mind and I get them, oh, Madonna mia, as the Italians say, because then I got the prepared material coming behind that. It's like stealing, Lee. It's just like stealing. You just got to do the work. You're not going to learn these things out about yourself unless you don't do the work, and most importantly, you write them down.
Tape them, write them down.
Tape them, write them down.
I would do the youth hostel every Wednesday night, every Sunday night. The audience warm-up was the other thing that just stop, getting these high school kids in, getting these paid audience in, community college. I mean, I cut my teeth doing that. Because I had to get over to learn to public speak, and I sold T-shirts at the Seattle Supersonic games, being the waiter, because I was good at baseball, but I wasn't in that artistic world. And then I just had to force myself. Jay Leno, I listened to his book. He said, you want to get into comedy? Learn to public speak. Just talk. Then I did that cable access show. I did the public speaking. And then I went to New York. I was a tour guide at Radio City Music Hall. I barked at the Comedy Cellar. I did all these weird things. But you know what? I got to believe in myself as a stand-up comedian. And because I've done so many, I'm spread thin doing that, I think the last couple of years I really focused on my stand-up and, put my energy into that. And, last night or the other night following you was we had a great time, and I really appreciate that. And I like these, I'm having a great time tonight, and it's a weird world out there. It's a weird world these days, and you got to stay positive. I put out positive energy. And I don't know what my next gig. I'm doing Bumper Shoot. That's what I'm excited about. Seattle, I'm doing Bumper Shoot. Isn't that ironic? Could be my final festival. Who knows? It's Bumper Shoot. And that is...
It's still Pat Wilson?
Who knows? I don't know. That's funny. I don't know who's booking it up there. But there's liable to be a riot. That's Labor Day weekend. That's, it's summertime's over. It's Seattle. You got people coming up from Portland. It's Labor Day. You got Lord playing. You got Weezer playing. You got Brody doing comedy. Something's going down in Seattle. Bumper Shoot. You heard it here first. Somebody's going to notify the FBI. Brody, I was getting information. That's my vibe.
They're going to put you in a fucking tent out there like they did. Remember years ago, Pat Wilson would book one of the festivals there. It was the local guys, Kermit Apio, the other guy who won, Rodney Sherwood. Listen to that fucking name from the past.
He was great. But these like a Pat Wilson never gave,
No, they didn't give us dick.
Never gave it up.
She gave me the Army base.
I never even got that.
Then there was a Spanish guy in Seattle, Alberto, who used to book the old Improv, which they changed over. In fact, I saw Soundgarden.
At the Showbox?
The Showbox. Yes, good for you, my brother.
I think it's still there.
What was the name of the bar that we were going to across the street from the Showbox downstairs? It was very bourgeois. Rod Long used to go there. He took me. I took Josh Wolf. Then we all started going over there and we were comics. Do you remember
that one? No.
Downstairs.
Seattle had a great energy. Pioneer Square, the music scene was on fire. I mean, it was post-grunge, but...
And then we used to walk down to McCormick and Schmidt's.
Yeah.
And they had the 4 to 7 o'clock menu, the mooch menu, and they had a cheeseburger, they had
clam chowder,
a
sourdough bread.
Oh, my God, Lee. And then it went again from 11 to 1. Oh, We'd walk in at 10:59. Give us the big table. $2. Give us the whole menu. One shot. Give it to us again. The cheeseburgers were delicious cheeseburgers, and they give you like a shrimp cocktail.
You would just have her go down the menu?
Yeah, it was $14.
Would we still do that today if we were that age? Because today we don't do it as much because we go home to the internet. There's too much great, or we've quote unquote developed a character, made a career. Going out like that. Do people still go out like that all the time? I think Jeff Ross goes out quite a bit.
What do you mean goes out at
like
night?
Goes out at night.
At night.
Or Dave Attell. These guys are out there at night. Is there that...
I don't eat at night.
Oh, you don't?
I smoke pot and I go back to the hotel room and I'm pretty happy. I'm 54 years old. If I was 42 and single, sure, I'd go get a bite to eat and I would talk to people who came to the show and smoke more dope, and mingle a little bit more. I don't do drugs. I don't really drink.
Right.
I'm not going to get sloppy in public.
Right.
So it's a different show. But I remember, listen, man, you think you're sitting there, you're old, you're thinking of your comedy career. And I got to tell you something. The highlight of my comedy career was that 1 year and a half in Seattle. That really let me know who I was and what I needed to do. New York let me know how much work it was going to give me to become a comic. This, going to Seattle, made me realize how much work it was going to be to kick it up to the next level, which was feature act. I was going to skip over MC and go right to the feature act. I was already featuring for Tribble and one-nighters. Why am I got an MC? You know what I'm saying? And everybody said, no, call, whatever. And I refused. And I finally got a feature spot at the Comedy Underground, opening up for Laurie Kilmartin, who's still around Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
Are you fucking kidding me or what? That was the highlight of my life for $200. It was $50 a set.
Good gig.
$200 at the Comedy Underground, though.
I apologize if you've talked about this before. I think you might have, but I know how you have like your notebook with everything that you do. Do you have years and years of all your gigs that you've done?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I have tons of cassette tapes from. See, I went to New York also. Once I went to New York, and Joey told me to go to New York. And once I went to New York, I didn't look back on Seattle. I look back fondly on Seattle as I get older now, more so even though I just do. I've always had fondness for it, but I also have fondness for that New York comedy scene. I could really spread my wings there. You're staying up to 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm doing the tour guide stuff. I had to go to New York and prove to myself, can I be funny on the East Coast? Can I be funny in some of the toughest crowds? Tough people, and I was able to do it. But I wasn't. I did late night spots at Stand Up New York, but I had no confidence to ask Esty at the Comedy Cellar because I barked there. I was barking. I could have been the next Jim
Norton.
No, who was what's
Brody
his name?
Stevens.
No, the guy who Lee. I'll think of his name, but he moved. He ran the. He was the MC. Then he moved to. He did the Boston Comedy Club, and then he moved. I forget his name, but I'll find it.
Brody, just the fact that we're still here in the arena of comedy just thrills me. I don't even give a fuck about that, but I do really cherish that comedy zone, that comedy scene up there. I remember we used to, on Mondays, we'd leave the Underground and go to a place that was fancy, and they had cages and shit. And we did comedy there a few times. And I don't think we went back because they wouldn't give us money. And then we started going to Tacoma and doing a comedy.
Crossroads?
Whatever that was for that chick. In fact, she became my friend on Facebook and sent me a message.
Susan Jones?
Yes. Nice lady.
Yeah.
I went to that contest many a night with 0 on my gas tank.
Yeah.
and 0 in my pocket, and left there with a yardstick and the host for the following week to pick up a small yardstick.
That was at the Crossroads.
Yeah.
Ken ran the
Oh my
room.
God, are you fucking kidding me, people? You know what it's like to drive to a contest knowing you have to win to get the yardstick, and if you win, you get a yardstick the next week. Then you come back the next week, and if you win again, you get the yardstick. You keep getting the fucking yardstick. I would take time off and go down there with 3 new minutes and fucking blast them, and then take another month off and blast them. Get them for $200 every like 6 weeks.
Yeah. Seattle was just great for development. I just feel like in Arizona, I never had that energy for it. Just wasn't there. But Seattle, there's just so much to chew on. So green, so wet. And look at all the creativeness that's come out of Seattle. Amazon, Costco, some other things. But Microsoft, Red Robin, a lot of things came out of Seattle. Space Needle.
I can't believe that 3 of us are still fucking here doing stand-up. If you'd have told me in 1997, shut your mouth, stop busting Brody's balls. He's going to be doing a podcast with you in a studio in fucking Studio City some night. I'm going to go, are you crazy? Brody will be playing baseball somewhere or some shit by then. I thought this was like a shortcut for you until you told me your life story, and then we fucking you went to New York and you actually did it, and people said you were out there, like connected with you on the phone or some shit. Just what a crazy ride comedy has been.
It's been fun. I still have fun. That's one thing. When I have my spot at the Comedy Store, I'm always excited about it. I mean, me personally, when that day comes when I'm not into it, and I knew it right away when I was taking that workshop at UCLA. I was excited to go. That was what I was into. And same thing with Seattle, the open mics, the cable access. I just pushed it. I sold T-shirts for the Seattle Supersonics. I had to train myself. But I learned we were so lucky that we were learning in Seattle non-showcase comedy. We were out of LA. We learned about opener, middle, road, corporate, clean, how clubs ran, guys taking cruise ships. So that was a great scene.
Another funny night of comedy in Seattle. And people, I don't have a lot of these. I had one night in Boston with Stanhope, one night in Boston with Seattle, and one night, don't hold me to the names, people, but there was a town like where Josh Wolf had his old apartment. There was a strip club there.
Northgate? He was up north.
It was something.
He had a house up there.
Yes.
Rented a house. That was like Northgate, like
something around
Aurora
there.
and a Hunter or
right.
something.
So up there was a restaurant owned by like a Greek guy. All right, and he wanted to do comedy on Wednesday nights, and we would go up there, but the night would always end because somebody would curse on stage.
Greeks don't like
vaguely
curse?
remember this.
Lee, he would go totally insanely. Do you remember this, or you were gone by then?
I didn't do that one so much.
Okay, so we would go up there like once a month, like 16 of us would invade that place. And Count Hopkins III.
Oh, Count Hopkins.
Guys like that, right?
Wally Glenn, Chaz Ablin,
Yeah, Chaz Ablin.
Ramona,
What kind of act did Count Hopkins
Al
III have?
Fox.
And it was hysterical because Count Hopkins III was a black dude.
I figured.
That was a great guy. He was my friend.
I wish it was like a white
But
guy.
guys, he was basically purple. Like when you hear that expression about black, like when he'd open up his mouth, it would be pink and his skin would he was one of the darkest brothers you'd ever see in his life. Now, Count Hopkins was like
The third.
a feature act. Count Hopkins III was like a feature act. At the same
Yeah.
time, I'm dear friends with a headliner named Rod Long. Now, Rod Long is a Seattle native, worked hard all his life, did. Jesus Christ, Brody Stevens.
You know why? I'll tell you
You're
why.
a young fucking man. Get it together.
I'll tell you why, Joey.
Why?
Because when I drove up here today,
Yeah.
I took a Red Bull. So Red Bull makes me take a leak.
Go ahead. Unbelievable. You gotta live with the young men.
I'm like, this is what this cholesterol medication is. That's why I said
you gotta go to that thyroid doctor. Your thyroid's all fucked up. So this guy was a black dude. That was light skinned brother. Very articulate. Great joke writer.
Okay.
All right. Always wore a suit. Great guy. Just knew his marijuana. Was a great photographer. I loved him till today. I got his phone number in my fucking phone. I still adore him, and I learned a lot of comedy from him. We drove from California to Seattle a few times. Me and him drove from Seattle to California and back 3 times just to showcase for shit. That's how tight we were. And he always took good care of me, so I always think about him. And he had a family and shit. But to make a long story short, Rod Long comes up to me one night. Now, again, you just know me 5 years, but you have to learn the mind of Uncle Joey.
Right.
Rod Long comes up to me and he goes, you know this motherfucking black dude, Ken Hopkins III? And I go, yeah, I know him. He goes, when he does comedy, you watch him? Is he doing my jokes?
What?
And I'm like, I don't know.
How dare
But
he accuse the Ken?
How? That's it. Once you tell me that, I'm going to feel fired. So, okay. So, let's say.
So when someone comes to you with their problems, you see it as a way to torture them mentally until they break.
No, because somebody came to me and said, my God, fucking Rod Long is really pissed at Count Hopkins III. Right? You know, and I was like, really? And like, oh my God, he's fucking furious.
Trouble in the Kingdom.
At Count Hopkins III. So I would get him fired up about Count Hopkins III. What's going on? Every time I saw him for about 2 months, every time I saw him, I'd say, Rod Long, what's going on with Count Hopkins III? Fuck that nigga motherfucker.
Whoa.
He would just go off for like 3 or 4 minutes. That black ass motherfucker stole my joke and shit.
Oh my God.
So now I got him going. Like for 3 months. And then one day he figured it out. I could see Rod Long looking at me. He's like, why you always asking me about Count Hopkins? I don't know. I don't see him. I don't see you. But I was seeing Rod at that time twice a week. He was taking me on a couple gigs, local Donna Richards.
Yeah, he
gigs.
did all the sports gigs. He was a sports guy.
I wouldn't do those with him. Those had to be clean.
But those were his big corporate gigs. He was like one of the go-to guys for the Seahawks or the Mariners.
Made a great living.
Yeah, that was his thing.
Yeah,
and he had a good day gig. Like
yes.
I don't know if he did like work.
Yes.
On the roads.
He was very fortunate, man. So
No, maybe Cliff Barnes was that guy.
Cliff Barnes was
a guy.
He's another great sweetheart of a dude.
I really remember him well.
Me too.
Great guy.
Him.
And so was Rod Long.
But Rod Long, every time I'd see him, Rod Long have a couple cocktails. I'm like, Rod Long, what's going on with Count Hopkins III? He'd start on him again. That motherfucker's doing my jokes. I'm telling you. So now, I would fucking wait till Friday night, like 1 in the morning. I'd call Rod Long on his cell phone. And if he didn't answer the phone, I'd go, Rod Long, pick it up. I go, Count Hopkins is down here. And then I'd hang up, right?
Were you with your friends, or were you just by yourself?
I'm by myself.
Oh, my God.
I'm by myself in those days, coked up to the gills. Just sitting there trying to laugh at something, and that's what I would do, torment Rod Long. Rod Long lived for a year of me tormenting him. Not once was he out of the same night with Count Hopkins III.
You would just say he was?
I would just make up shit to Rod Long. When he was home and he couldn't leave, I'd say, Rod, hurry up. Like if I talked to Rod in the daytime and he'd go, man, I got a babysit tonight. My wife's got something till midnight. I knew Rod couldn't leave the house at midnight. So I would call him about 10 and go, yo, fucking Count Hopkins is down here doing your material. No.
Oh, wow.
That black motherfucker better not be doing my material. He would go off.
Because he was a little buzzed.
Who?
Rod Long.
No, Rod would be straight as an arrow with his kids. He hated the thought
of somebody
of
doing
Count
his bits.
Hopkins doing his material. But Count Hopkins had never done his material.
Third.
So you started that.
No, I did not start that. Rod Long started it on himself.
I was taking a
And
leak. I missed that
lit
part.
him, and I lit him on fire.
You didn't.
I
correct
never
him?
ever said to him, I saw Count Hopkins stealing material. I always egged him on in a weird way. I don't know.
What about Al Fox? That was funny. He got pissed.
Al Fox was
That was funny.
you know, that at that point I was doing comedy 4 years. Seriously, 2.5 years. Okay, people? And let me tell you what happened. I went to an open mic up in Seattle, and they put me up like number 2.
I have it on video somewhere.
I got like 3 minutes. No, you don't.
No, something. No, I don't. But
Oh, you have the video. So I went there. I was like number 3, and I got to be honest with you, people. I thought I was doing the right move. At that time, again, I wasn't sure if I was going to stay in Seattle. I had a daughter in Boulder. I had been gone for about 2 weeks at this point. My rent was paid till September, and I had to make up my mind till September, pretty much. The relationship in Boulder wasn't going anywhere. And here I am up in Seattle. I got a piece of ass that's a dirty whore. I'm
Nice.
going through hell. But I'm fucking doing comedy,
yeah,
At not a great comedy club, but one of the best comedy clubs in the fucking country.
Comedy
And
Underground.
I'm living in the music capital of the fucking world right
Coffee.
now. And
Coffee?
Coffee. I didn't drink coffee in those days. I was eating teriyaki up at that fucking place.
Number 1 teriyaki.
Number 1 teriyaki. That was my spot. Till this day.
She cut the chicken with scissors.
Yeah, till this day, I compare everything to up there.
Oh, that was
The
good.
fucking salad dressing.
Oh yeah, like
The
little,
salad dressing.
like a tangy
And
ranch.
it's the
or
same one
something.
that everybody else has, but they did it different. And they'd slice those cucumbers real thin. They were the first people to slice cucumbers really fucking thin. They were professionals. A to Z, 20 fucking years ago. You understand me?
It was so the
There was
rice,
times I was...
like
there
a
was-
ball of rice.
There was
Oh,
days I was
gosh.
shameful because I'd be in there 3 times in a day.
The to-go box
In
was
a
huge.
to-go box. I'd eat half of it there. I'd put that red sauce on it, takoyaki, and I'd fucking walk it over to the underground.
Eat it downstairs in
I'd
the
eat
green
it downstairs.
room or in the back there.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
We would eat in the back. Bill, the bartender, he was great with his laugh.
But, I know what I was telling you. So here I am, number 3. I got all these problems, and I'm sitting here about to watch the rest of this comedy show. In those days, he would put up 17, 18 comics.
Yeah,
The last guy did 15 or 12.
the
Carl,
weekly
the weekly one
headliner.
on Monday night. No,
Yeah.
no. The guy was just, it could have been you, but he believed in you, Carl.
Okay,
So that's how Carl did it. So that first Monday, I'm sitting there, guys, and I'm waiting to see Comedy Brilliance. I am waiting to see why I'm leaving my life in Boulder. I am as excited as can be. I just been on the road for 2 weeks on a triple run, Brody.
those are tough, right?
The triple runs at that time?
Yeah,
That was
brutal.
my first triple run road gig. It was 2 weeks of learning everything A to Z. How to eat, how much money I could spend. I didn't really ask for drugs in those days. I was winging it in those days. It was a different scenario, but I'll never forget number 4 was that kid who killed himself
Jeff
with the
Masterson.
half cup. God bless his soul. But as soon as he went on stage, brother, you knew there was a mental health problem. Like the 3 guys after me had mental health issues. And if you didn't know that,
Who were they?
come on, I don't remember now. 20
Rita
years
O?
later. No, Rita was in that neighborhood. Rita was in that neighborhood also.
Well,
But from 4 to like 8, it was just people that they came down there every week. They went up 3 to 4 weeks. They didn't write a new joke. They didn't want to write a new joke. And this is what they did every week. And they had a day job. And they didn't do gigs for certain reasons. And it was very, like I would sit there and go, who would come down here on Monday night, put up with this abuse, to do 6 minutes and not be a professional comedian? Like I learned something. I remember being down there one night and everybody was so high on heroin. Dog, the waitresses were not. The Asian hot one that dated that dude with the long hair, and the bartender.
There's a real pretty girl with the blonde. I forget her name.
Come on, dog. I was in that place in the summer of '96, and those motherfuckers were nodding on a Monday night. You couldn't get a drink in there because the wait staff was high on fucking heroin.
I
didn't realize that.
What did the customers think?
The customers
I
were
didn't
just
know.
sitting there waiting for fucking something to happen.
We would get crowds for the open mics. That's the thing. Monday and Tuesday.
Monday and Tuesday, Lee, they'd get anywhere from 60 to 100 people.
Open mic.
I got to be honest with you guys, about 6 years ago, I was going through tapes when we were moving into the Valley, and I saw this tape, and I threw it in, and it was a medley of tapes of sets that I had taped over the years, and guess what came up? A Monday night in Seattle. And in those days, we had 6 minutes. And it was a Monday night. At this time, again, in my life, I was living through a personal hell. Yes, I had a girlfriend that was pretty. Yes, sweet 69 and do dirty things.
Oh.
But she was a whore. And I was crazy. It's not a good combination. What the fuck am I talking about?
You're talking about Seattle, your life up there, what was going on. Because I'll tell you what, thank God we went to Seattle. Like we said,
Yes.
Mitch Hedberg was up there. People knew.
No, a bunch of fucking people were up there.
They all came up. All the San Francisco comics, they came up there. They got
Guyo
it.
Belam, Margaret Cho, Janine Garofalo, Tom
Barker,
Rhodes,
Pat
Arch
Oswald.
Barker, Pat Oswald. I met so many fucking people.
We were learning.
In Seattle, and so many people I was in awe of.
Great speakers.
In Seattle. I mean,
Corporate gigs.
Oh, I saw, who else the fuck did I see? It was just, Seattle was a 3-year college education for me.
Yep.
That I thought I'd never, ever have. And look, the truth is right here. This is 20 fucking years later. He's sitting right in front of me.
I'll tell you, I was an internship at Cairo Sports. I wanted to learn about sports radio. I had already graduated from Arizona State. I wanted to be an intern, so I signed up for a class at Bellevue Community College to be an intern for Cairo CBS Sports. I'd go down to the Mariner games, interview the players, and I did a couple stand-up sports like, hi, everybody, I'm Stephen Brody, reporting live from the Kingdom. But it just wasn't my thing. Being Brody, doing that cable access show, getting on stage and ranting. And that's when you said, go to New York. And I went to New York, and I went down to the Lower East Side, and I did Surf Reality, where they didn't want jokes. They wanted they wanted craziness. They wanted drumming. And I broke through and I did that, really found my voice, didn't look back on Seattle. And then the tour guide stuff, it just, you got to live in New York. It's like you got to wait tables, you got to live in New York, you got to take public transportation, you got to be around all different people. Now, look, the world's crazy right now. I don't know if those rules still apply, but for growing up in the Valley, yes, I always wanted to go to New York, just like growing up watching WOR Met games. It was just something about the Yankees. They'd come play Anaheim Stadium, and it was just New York. I knew I had to go to New York. And then my friend got the job with the Yankees, Borzello, and it's like, now I get to hang out with the Yankees, get to go to Yankee Stadium. But I wasn't there to go to Yankee Stadium. And I did have pressure, like, oh, why don't you come to the Yankee games? It's like, I got to go to Surf Reality. I got to go to Stand Up New York. I got to go to Gotham and get on stage. So, but I experienced New York and all that stuff, Seattle, and it just got me ready for LA. And then,
well, Seattle to you was New York to me, my brother.
See, there you go.
You just, as you were talking, you just said something to me.
Oh.
I was in New York for 9 months, and I went to New York, let's be honest, I went for 3 reasons. I went to get away from what I had going on in Boulder.
Okay.
I went to hook up with this girl that was phenomenal.
Good.
And number 3 though, was comedy, but with a tight 4 was doing cocaine and getting up at $20 a gram in Harlem. So I went back to fucking New York, and New York to me was Seattle to you. I did a couple things, not TV, nothing.
Right.
But I was getting spots.
Yeah.
And I was going to New York Comedy Club. He liked me, so he put me up, and I'd bomb. I was just a fucking bomb machine then. And one day I went into your old Triple Inn.
Yep, on 54th and
I
8th.
saw John Leguizamo at 2 in the morning, and I left there, and it hit me like a bag of bricks. And I said, I'll go to Colorado and do this dirty work.
Well,
And that was my plan. I went to Colorado and did that dirty work only in Colorado.
why did John Leguizamo at that moment, why did that make you want to go back to Boulder?
Because I thought, now I understood what comedy was. For a long time, I thought that I'd call Brody. This is, and I talked about this before. This is how naive I was about comedy. So I thought comedy was always like, hey, Lee, who's your favorite comedian? I love Brody Stevens. Why do you like him? He's Jewish, he's neurotic. I love Brody Stevens. All right.
Thank you.
Call up Brody Stevens' agent and call him and see what he's doing tonight. That's what I thought comedy was. And they would call you up and they'd say, brother, you available to shoot tonight? Well, what's the take? The take is 30 minutes, HBO, whatever. That's how I thought stand-up was.
Wow.
And then fucking whatever your name is, you came down there, you went on stage, you did your album very casually, like this isn't the top of your head. That's how fucking retarded and drugged up and out of prison. I got into it thinking, okay, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go on stage maybe 10 times, and on the 10th time, somebody's gonna see me, and that's gonna be it. I don't have to do none of the shit that other people have to do.
Right.
So I was going out to comedy clubs at night, in the back of my mind going, look at these peasants.
Peasants.
You know what I'm saying? They're doing it all wrong. I got it all right.
Street smart.
Energy. I'm going to do this in 10 minutes and get the fuck out of here. And that's what I would do. I would do it in 10 minutes and get the fuck out of it. It was just something that, but I failed as a New York comedian. Like I couldn't do what regular people were doing in New York. That was too much movement for me at night.
Yeah.
I liked going out to maybe 2 places. Once you started making me go to Staten Island and Queens without a car, like I got a call one time, I'm in Atlantic City eating crab legs with my boy Jimmy Burkle, just God save rich his soul, and we got a call at 5 o'clock to be in whatever, fucking Connecticut at 8 o'clock at this Moose Bar. And we drove up there right away and we made it just in time. And, we did this Moose Bar. What did it pay? $1.25 or whatever? I like that type of adventure. If I was fucking single, my comedy career would be completely different. I'd be working 6 nights a week. Clean and sober how I am now, all I need is reefer on the road.
Yeah.
There's tons of reefer on the road. I would get a bus, get my man Lee here, have Lee sleep in the fucking chairs. I would turn his bedroom into a studio for podcasting.
Oh, gee, thanks.
And
podcast from the van.
Yeah, that's it.
For me, what brought me back to L.A., I knew I wanted to come back when I was 30. But doing these shows downtown, I got a chance to host a couple, and Dave Chappelle was on it, and Todd Barry, and Mark Maron. And I was kind of holding my own. I was doing okay. I didn't bring the show down. So I was hosting, and then I did a couple spots. And then at that point, I felt like, because it was the summertime, my apartment was hot. I wasn't, it was funny. I mean, I knew I could do, going, because my friends that I met in New York, they were all moving to L.A. to work on these TV shows. So they were working at these late night TV shows. And they told me, like, I had a chance to get on them. And once I did some of those shows at Luna Lounge on the Monday night, those hip shows, because I was doing late night spots at the comedy clubs, but I wasn't ready for those prime timers yet.
How did you react to Winters at first, Brody?
They didn't bother me because I went to Seattle. And it kind of prepped me for it. That's why I knew The reason why I went to Seattle is because I have aunts and uncles and cousins up there, and I went up there in like 1980. So I just remember going to seeing the Mariners and going to the Jewish Community Center and seeing the Supersonics work out there. And that was when they were winning. Freddie Johnson down, Gus Williams.
Why were they using the JCCs?
That's where they worked out. They worked out at the Jewish Community Center. Maurice Lucas, I think, was there. So I fell in love with Seattle. I knew what was up there. And then when I played baseball my freshman year, so this is 1989, I went up to Alaska to play baseball in the summertime, 24-hour daylight up in Alaska. And we worked our way down to British Columbia. And I just remember driving through British Columbia, how beautiful it was, how green it was, how the mountains. I just loved it. And then I spent about maybe like a week in Seattle with my aunts and uncles, and I just felt the vibe there. And that's when I started listening to Nirvana. I remember listening to Nirvana and flying out to Seattle. And then that whole scene, the grunge scene, started in 91. With Pearl Jam and Soundgarden. So I knew there was some kind of energy up there. Put it in my back pocket. And then when I was done with school, we had the Northridge earthquake. I was working at Macy's out at Topanga Plaza, selling china on the 4th floor, spinning my wheels, living up in the hills with Berzello. It's just like L.A. to start here is almost impossible. I mean, it's different now. But back then, I didn't have the support system. I'm living out in the valley. I had no. That's why I took a workshop.
Let me describe for people what it's like. It's like the only comparison we could describe to you is
doing comedy here in L.A.
If you start here in L.A.,
oh God, that's not good.
It's not good because your mental state is even different because everybody's talking about comedy with the final end already you being on TV. When you start in Michigan, which I love to use as an example because they have such a huge state, so they have all these little, like Flint and all these little cities, they do comedy in because in the winter there ain't dick to do. They do you could start as an MC in Michigan.
Flint has a comedy scene?
What?
Flint has a comedy scene?
What's that?
Flint?
They all do. Pop up the map of fucking Michigan, and I'll tell you how many comedy clubs there are in Michigan, just without me even looking at the comedy club list. Okay, this is how fucking bad to the bone I am. I will tell you. And if I'm lying to you, type me back and say, oh, the comedy club closed there. That's how many clubs there are in Michigan.
It's a big state.
If you want to start comedy and you don't want to be seen, you either go to Michigan or Texas. That's where you go for 3 years if you don't want to
Austin.
be seen. You go to Austin
or Houston back then.
You travel all through the state of Texas. You're always moving through the state of Texas.
You're doing bars.
There's so many fucking comedy holes in Texas that you cannot even fucking imagine. Like map of Michigan with the names of it. All those little cities, guys, have fucking comedy. I can't see shit.
And Joey, this has nothing to do with like Best Damn Sports Show. You're talking stand-up comedy. Did doing Best Damn Sports Show help you as a stand-up comedian? Being on live, live to tape so many times there and knocking it out every time. Did that help at all with stand-up comedy? Or is this something completely different? Other than maybe just bookings.
The Best Damn Sports Show was fucking great experience because it was me in front of a camera. Did anybody watch that fucking thing? I have no idea.
I think they did.
Grand Traverse is Michigan. Has comedy. Huron has comedy. Saginaw has comedy.
Kalamazoo
has comedy.
Grand Rapids.
Muskegon has comedy.
Detroit.
St. Clair has comedy. Keep going up.
These are just the counties.
The other way, G.
Well, these are the
counties. Other way. No, what are you going into the ocean?
I thought there was two sides of those two sides.
No, that's that's Lake Michigan.
The other way. All that little island.
Upper PI
there. What the fuck do they? Ishpamine
Michigan,
all that up there.
Michigan militia.
All right, go down. Scroll down, my friend. Marquette. That's a different Marquette.
Mackinac Island.
Yeah, Mackinac Island with that kid from Seattle.
Stu Stewart would go out there, ran like a comedy show.
Right there so we could see everything.
Good memory.
There you go.
But these are
Keep
counties.
going, my friend. I know. Keep going. But all these counties have Michigan. And these are the ones we fucking know of. Think of all St. Joseph's, all that Niles, all that by, it's called Mishawaka.
Yeah.
All those places have some sort of comedy. Yeah, go look at the map of Michigan by the city.
But
see what that says.
Joey told me, he said, go away for 6 months and then come back. Go out on the road, stay out of L.A., and then they'll see your growth. You got to come back and forth.
You got to leave and come back a monster.
Yeah.
It's like if you were going to do steroids. How would you do steroids? You'd sit in front of these people that you've been around all your life doing steroids, and they wouldn't even notice you. They would say, something looks different about you. You disappear for 8 months. You promise yourself, you know what? You have a cousin, his name is Lee. He goes to college in Boston.
Oh.
He told you to get you a job in the coffee shop at the university, and you could crash at his floor. Boom. That's it. You know why your cousin's going there, Lee? Because he read over the year about all the great comics that came out of Boston.
Because that was a fantastic
scene. So you have this fucking dream as a young comic, and all of a sudden you got a cousin who goes to college in Boston, and you're like 28. You could still fit in. It's not like Joey knocking on your door. Hey, let me sleep on your floor. No, it's somebody who's your age. Let me tell you something, man. You do like all that type of shit. I agree with all that type of stuff, especially in the beginning. You find a cousin or something, you look at the map good, and they have 2 comedy clubs and a one-nighter. That's what it shows you. That means there has to be 4 open mics, but the only way you're going to know is by getting on the bus and going there. You're not going to find that in your house. It's not going to tell you. When you go out to that comedy club, people are going to go to you, what are you doing Tuesday night? Nothing. Why? They do comedy, Rusty Nail, from 8 to 10, and then we go over to Malacca's, and they give you $100 a piece. Boom. I know what I'm doing Tuesday night. And all of a sudden, you get there Tuesday, and they're like, what are you doing tomorrow night? We do the VFW. It's only $35 a set, but it's better than nothing. Boom. There you go.
You got to go out to middle.
You got to go out to fucking metal.
You still do, right? At the comedy, it's human. It's emotion. You have to. There really isn't a shortcut. The bottom line is you got to go out on the road. But it's changed a little bit now with the internet. It's like these guys could study comedy, really study it, visualize it, like become these, you can find your voice quicker these days, would you say?
I think you could find your voice and the amount of time you... let me explain something to you. My first year and a half, I watched so much stand-up comedy. I rented the tape so many times from the video store that the guy wouldn't even charge me anymore. The BET, the HBO, what was it? Def Comedy Jam, All Stars. But the most important was Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, Dice.
With Dice and Hicks and Roseanne. It was 2 tape series. That drove me crazy. That's all I watched over and over, and I made notes like a football coach, and I looked at their mannerisms, and that's all I wanted to be. For Christ's sake, people don't remember that feeling anymore. It's like, and you didn't want to tell people. You still got that job over at the car lot, yeah. You don't even want to go into it, because people are going to try to tell you, stand-up comedy, you ain't that funny. I had you at my house that day.
Yeah.
Lee, you're right over there.
Yeah, my butt was hurting, that's all.
Your butt was hurting. You ready for another store?
No.
Why not? How many stores you eat tonight?
I didn't even count.
You ate 4.
Oh, no. But I at least 6.
I don't know. That's suspect.
See, I was so focused on baseball, and people, I just never did the arts. Never was into my mom. We pushed baseball. I liked throwing. I liked the structure of Little League, and I just kept always. I never was like a performer I did some silly performances. And then just playing baseball, just goofy faces and stuff. And then later on, people would say, "Brody, you're funny." They told me I was funny. I never told people I was funny.
I was afraid of the ball. Like I was fine throwing it.
I still am.
Me too. Yeah, I don't want to. I got hit one. I was playing catch and hit me in the face.
I've been hitting my eye through the sun. I've been line drives back. I'm not afraid of catching the ball, but like fielding the ball or if a pitcher's throwing 95 miles an hour. But I was a pretty good pitcher. I feel like I have no bitterness on my baseball. I felt like I got the most out of it. And even to this day, you can still be around major leaguers. You don't have to pitch in the game. You can still, I tell people, it's like I visualize stuff. If you visualize it, it can happen. I visualized being able to do a few things. There's something to that, like whether you call it meditation or...
I wasn't visualizing, dog. When I wanted to realize that I wanted to become a comic,
you just did it.
I focused on blow and getting on fucking stage and writing stupid fucking jokes backed by energy and anger from this chick I was driving and my divorce and how broke I was. So it worked. And I remember leaving Seattle, a fucking okay comic, I thought. And then I went to a couple places in L.A., and I was like, you know what? I may be better than a little okay.
And that's when you blew up, like you were...
No, and then I went to the improv and stuff, and I'm like, oh, shit, this is real. And at that time, I had done road work. I'm not going to lie to you. I did a bunch of triple work. I had done Donna Richards' work. I had gone to Spokane, Taina's Karate Buddy. I had gone to fucking Portland,
Moscow,
Oregon.
Bellingham.
I had gone to Moscow, Idaho. I had gone to all these things. I'd gone to Florida for a week. I knew the road. Was I the king of the road? Was I Doug Stanhope at the time? Not at all. And what the fuck happens? I lose my fucking train of thought here.
No, you were on the road. You were the king of the road. Then you come to L.A. and that Comedy Store, doing that, being there late night when it was freaking...
And that was fucking me up. That was fucking my confidence up. Then I started picking a little bit of momentum up. I would go Latino night, and I would do little cheat things, talking Spanish, and I'd blow up the room, and I'd go to the Comedy Store late night, and I'd go on a rant.
Why is that cheating?
Little things you could do. And then it's like going out there and saying you want an applause for the troops. Shit like that. And then I went to the improv one night. At that time, I had a manager that kept pushing road work on me. And I was like, I don't know. And it was flat fee type of shit. No hotel. Some of it was hotel. Some of it was just come on down and showcase for us. But let me tell you about what happened with him. Tell me to remind you later what happened with this guy. So, in this trip, I had signed with him like in February. I had been here maybe 3 weeks. The first time when I got here from Seattle, I signed with him. And that summer, I said, listen, I haven't been in New York. I'm going to go back there and do comedy. He got me a couple little gigs here and there, Camacho gigs and...
Roger Paul?
No, at that time, the
was
other guy.
in New York.
Rascals.
Vinnie Brandt?
No, at that time, I hadn't worked with Vinnie Brandt. I had done a few one-nighters up north or some shit like that. See, you threw my fucking train of thought.
Sorry about that. Bring it back in.
No craze. No worries. What the fuck was I talking about?
Going on the road.
And he fucking sent me to Governors. He sent me, I can't remember, to like 4 or 5 clubs. He did a great job, but I'll tell you what else he did. He goes, listen, go to this address. And I go, what's this address? He goes, I want you to drop off a tape of you doing stand-up to this address. It's a new show. I go, what's the name of it? Give me the address. And he goes, The Sopranos. And I kept thinking,
whoa,
yeah, these guys singers? I don't want to be a fucking singer. I never dropped off the tape.
You didn't?
This was before This was before the casting.
You would have probably
I was in New York
for
at the
sure
time.
have been on
I
it.
wasn't ready. I was green. I had the opportunity a year later, and I ate a bag of cocks.
So you did have an opportunity.
Oh, I read for them early on. The end of the first season, when there was Soprano Mania.
Yeah.
Right then and there, I got an audition. Then they made me audition. Then they made me audition for 2 or 3 different guys. Gigi Stone, The Undercover Cop, season 2, and there was somebody else they were making me audition for.
Did you ever take acting classes?
At that time?
Anywhere?
At that time, absolutely. When I came to L.A., I think it took me a year to finally change my thing, and I started going that December.
I saw you in basketball.
At that time, I was not in acting class.
That's a classic movie.
Is it really?
Basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cult classic, and you're in it. Does anyone ever bring that up to you?
Every once in a while.
You're a referee in it.
Somebody puts a picture up of me reffing on Twitter. They go, look who we just saw on Twitter. On
Basketball.
basketball.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Then were you in Spider-Man also?
A couple of years after that, I just bumped into Sam Raimi at a pitch. And
Sam Raimi, he directed For Love of the Game, the baseball movie.
really?
Yeah, the one with Kevin Costner. Sam Raimi directed it. My friend Borzello, who was with the Yankees. So that movie was filmed probably in 98 or 99 at Yankee Stadium. And John C. Reilly was in it, Kevin Costner, and it was about Kevin Costner throwing a no-hitter and flashing back on his life. So John C. Reilly was cast in the movie. He was the catcher, but he wasn't that great at baseball, and they gave him like a brand new baseball glove. And he couldn't catch. He couldn't do the scenes, and Costner would get upset. Sam Raimi was a director, but basically Costner did everything. So they gave him this glove. He couldn't catch. Borzello was there, kind of like being helping out a little bit, like just helping them with
Consulting.
Yeah, exactly. He was there for that. And then they said, you know what, you look like John C. Reilly. And Borzello was a bullpen catcher, so they had Borzello play John C. Reilly. All the baseball scenes, they had him shave his arms. So if you watch For Love of the Game, which is still like a baseball movie that holds water, or it still plays on MLB Network. If you watch the baseball scenes, John C. Reilly, who's the catcher in the movie, it's Borzello back there. If you look, you can tell. And he's a coach now with the Cubs. He went on to win 5 World Series championships. That's another thing. It's about winning. You got to push. I grew up here in the Valley. I learned about pushing, believing, and it's like it's such this world now. Again, I don't want to harp on politics, but I'm a single white guy. I'm there. I don't have, I get pushed around a little bit. I see it. Grew up here in the Valley. People put the Valley down, but I don't know why I threw that in. But the bottom, I see the American flag. I like that, It's just, it's a crazy time, and I feel like certain tweets, you got to watch what you say because this town's based off, reputation. Certain actors, they're in the same thing because they all think the same. But I feel like, you're talking about living in your car and believing in yourself. This is a great time to be a comedian. There's so much stuff out there to just go for it.
That's why I think you could do this plan. We could sit down during the week. RV, there's a national company that finances you. If we could do a show or figure out a way to tweet with their RV, something. There's a hook there for national.
I like that
attention.
right there. Cross-country trip with Brody.
Your Periscope is very big. There's no reason why you can't add ads to the Periscope and make a little money there.
I need a new manager. I think you would be a great manager.
And then you have to do
Oh, yeah, he'd be the best manager.
Why don't you manage me, Joey?
Because I got enough shit on my plate. I got to manage Lee. Lee doesn't know whether he wants to go to Pismo Beach or fucking Long Beach for a honeymoon.
But you guys don't understand. Joey's given me, it's like, Joey does his own stuff. These guys do a lot of their thing, but I want you to understand, like, lot of my career choices, a lot of fundamentals that I go to are based off Joey Diaz, based off that, and also in terms of confidence, back in like 2001, having Joe Rogan say, "You're funny." So that kind of like helped me relax and go for it and push a little bit, knowing that Rogan thought I was funny. And he asked me, I did the audience warm-up, for the Man Show with Stanhope and Rogan. And they gave me the confidence, I kind of rode that. But I was so good at audience warm-up, I just continued doing audience warm-up. I got too good at it. That was the problem.
Well, it's an important part of the show, and I've seen you once, and it's still the one thing that
the room just moved. You know what I'm saying?
Joey's having a good time. I'm hanging in there. You guys had a little more than me, but I'm hanging in there.
Let me open the door. I gotta take a little pee-pees. Hold on 1 second here.
Did you fall asleep?
Ooh, the room just moved like there was an earthquake. Uncle Joey had to catch himself.
You fell asleep there for a minute or something.
That chocolate bar took me.
You okay?
La Fossa.
Del
Destino.
So Lee,
yes, sir.
You've seen audience warm up. You saw my stand up recently. That was a great feeling to be at the Comedy Store that night. And then I saw you over on the left hand side, but I wasn't sure if it was you. And then I had a pretty good set. And then for you to you came. You've been very supportive of my comedy.
I think you're very funny. I'm. Especially when I really like my favorite kind of comedy is like the hour, but I do like going to the Comedy Store.
Right, you get a lot of variety.
But if you sit there from 10 or 9, and then you're there at 12:30 or 1,
right?
So most of the regular stuff is pretty boring. To see you is always very exciting, and then your Instagram is. Like you'll have inside jokes with people if they've seen the Brody Stevens Instagram, because you have to see it. You can't just watch it one day.
Are you talking about like the Instagram stories?
Yeah, I like your Instagram stories. That's right. Yeah, because you have to watch it like every day.
And the little themes.
The more you watch, I really like the dirty newspaper.
Yeah,
the dirty newspaper kills me. And what else? I missed it. I don't use Periscope as much watching it. I don't know if I'm sitting there watching it, but I miss you drumming.
Yeah, I need to drum more. But, Instagram's quick and easy. I keep it positive. It's Twitter, you can be negative. I feel like it's kind of hard to be negative on Instagram. I'm not verified. That upsets me. But
you're still mad at them?
Yeah, it bothers me. No, I'm really I'm not mad. I'm happy with my what's great about this is it's good that I'm out here because, Lee, you're a respected guy. You're supportive. I got guys, the Ari Shaffir crew, all those guys. Everyone's there, so I need to take action. Like tonight, Joey reached out. I've been putting out the energy, focusing. Some nights I'm not getting those spots, but I'm pushing it. But I'm going on the road, too. I'm going to Iowa. I'm going to doing shows in a tent, and I like doing it. I just got to make a few bucks. That's my thing. I don't need to have a house. I'm okay with... give me a little internet, give me good water pressure, a vehicle that I can sleep in. I guess we're going there, but I like the baseball stuff. I'm getting to, if I can combine sports, my love, and
MLB, they're tough to get a dime out of.
They are.
And even when you get the dime out of it, it's not the best dime in the world. It's too many restrictions to take the small nickel.
But what would be a great job, Joey? To work in baseball as a positive energy coach. They need positive energy around these teams. They need a friend. They need somebody who understands comedy, who can tell them how to be funny when they do their interviews, and also not say weird stuff. Keep the guys light. I also played baseball, and I know how to throw a ball. I wouldn't mind getting involved in baseball because Hollywood is so, turbulent right now. Lee, do you think so?
I mean, I'm always surprised, especially with sports teams, that they allow them to have social media, Twitter. I understand why they have to, because they have to brand market themselves.
I got a plan for you.
But they always seem to get in trouble.
Joey does have a plan.
I got a plan for you.
Okay, we're right here.
Here we go. You want to start your journey?
Yep.
Number one, you have to apply yourself to a player. You have to look at the end of the year, this baseball season, and see what player had a mediocre playoff when he could have had a tremendous playoff.
Yeah.
And you hook him up on Twitter and go, my name is Brody Stevens. I'm a comedian, but my main source of energy as I'm a positive energy coach. I'd love to come work with you. And you, all on my expense. This will cost you nothing.
Oh,
If at the end of the season you're not a better player, then you decide. I'll make you sign the contract, even if you just give me $25,000 at the end of the season.
another idea
I
that Joey.
guarantee that you will hit better. What would you do in that off-season, preseason training, baseball, a week away, and baseball to make this player better mentally?
That's right. Instead of focusing on a team in terms of getting a gig, reach out to players. There's 350 players. There's only 30 teams. Reach out to the players. Look at my credentials. I was in the Hangover. I was in Due Date. I'm getting decent spots at the Comedy Store. I can help you become a better baseball player, give you advice, and I'll put out energy for you. And let's see what happens. Let's see what I believe in you. If you believe in me, I accept PayPal. Thank you.
What energy are you going to put out for them?
Thought, belief. No, put in the word.
What type of energy you going to put out for them?
I'll pray for them. I'll face Mecca and pray. No, I will just psychology. I can help them with breathing. I can help them with what I did, being smart. I can do that. I know you're like putting me on the spot.
I'm not putting. I just want to learn.
I can tell them about being
I want
positive
to educate
words.
people what to know what you're doing. How much would 10 sessions cost? Somebody right now, if they lived in the San Fernando Valley and they were struggling, they wanted to become a piano player, but something was holding them back. What would you charge somebody for a 10-week Brody Stevens decapitate the enemy within session?
Oh, how are they? 50-minute sessions?
Whatever you want to do. Well, how long can you hypnotize somebody or terrorize somebody for?
I think 50 is the limit. I would say $100. So a package of 10 for 1,000. Be 1,000 for positive energy.
But if you contact Brody right now, tonight, this weekend,
Brody at BrodyStevens.com.
he'll give you the whole package for $900. That's the first.
900, Joey.
Yeah, that's the first visit.
That's crazy.
That's $100 less.
I want them to get something
But
because they listen to you on the
tips.
podcast.
Okay. What's the promo code?
The promo code is I heard about you on the podcast. I want to know if we could do the deal for the small 9 yards.
Okay.
Its payment is 2,450s. You know what I'm
Where
saying?
do I meet them?
You meet them at the Starbucks somewhere.
Oh, they can meet at Starbucks?
Sure, that's where you make the initial confirmation.
Okay, but what about after that, the meetings?
The meetings
Yeah,
should be
that's what I'm saying.
in your house with you wearing a robe.
That's
And they get naked on the bed, even if they're male. Maybe you have to turn.
No, I'm
them
not
upside
into
down.
that.
All right then, I don't fucking know.
Can I meet them at Starbucks?
You assess them the first time,
You can't do the whole session at Starbucks. That's a lot of money.
or
Like
here's
this
the
studio's
deal. Here's
maybe
the
I
deal.
rent out this studio
Here's
here.
the deal. Here's the deal. You meet them at Starbucks the first time,
Of course, safer.
and then you assess them, and then you call them. And the night before, you're supposed to meet them. You meet them somewhere that's gonna. What's the word I'm looking for? It's gonna blow up his sensory. A park that he's never been to. Well, see, if I think park and you think park, it's a bad idea. It's hacky.
Why is it hacky? We're helping the guy.
It's hacky. No, we got to take him somewhere.
Oh,
We'll
gotcha.
really stimulate.
Take
his
him to
sense.
the ocean.
The arcade.
Take him to the zoo. Retards like the zoo. I'm telling
I
you,
like
she
that. I
ain't
haven't been to the
retarded.
zoo for a while.
She ain't retarded.
Oh
She
my
just
god! You
was-
see what Rogan tweeted today?
What, bro?
They threw a fucking donkey into like the tiger pit.
Why? Where?
Cause like the people who own the zoo, the Chinese investors weren't happy with the profit, so they were trying to steal the donkey, and then they wouldn't let them. So they were trying to save money on feed.
Does he have the video of it?
Yeah,
Is it pretty graphic?
yeah,
But it's nature.
yeah, kind of. But they said
They fed him. That's not nature.
Remember I told you that the zoos in China got those fucking gorillas dressed up like the Beatles?
they said
They-
that they make them perform.
But that's
They-
funny. Are
they-
they not happy?
They're not.
They're probably not
They
happy.
take
No,
their
no,
animals serious in Japan and China over their zoos and shit. Anyway, let's fucking cut this off here. Brody Stevens, it's been an honor to watch you grow as a comedian, as a human being, as a good son to your mom, a good brother, you know. You have your little issues from time to time, but you're solid. And most importantly, we're still in this. Oh my God, Brody Stevens. It petrifies me sometimes. It petrifies. Sunday night, that was scary. You're following me at the store. If I came up to you 20 years ago at the fucking underground and go,
Right.
in 20 years on a Sunday night, you're going to follow me at the store.
What are the odds?
You're going to look at me and go, Joey, you really need professional help.
That's like two high school baseball players that go, you know what, we're going to be teammates in the major leagues, and I'm going to hit behind you one game.
I'm sitting there at night watching you going, wow, I'm getting old. So is Brody, but we're still here.
But we're living longer. We're taking supplements. We're drinking water. We're being positive.
Drinking water,
We're
pissing,
stretching.
sleeping, which is fucking so crucial, you know.
8 hours, go for it.
I do so many things now. Hey, listen, you can never cheat your heart. Your heart's like the devil.
You need cardio,
God
right?
gives you just so many fucking pumps, and after that,
What about apple? Oh, yeah, no more. Apple cider vinegar. Right, Joey?
it's supposed to be good.
No, I take it. Do you take apple cider vinegar?
I take everything.
You do?
Apple cider vinegar, concocted doo-doo.
I take apple
everything.
cider vinegar. I've lost, I've lost inches. Whenever I mention it, people get excited about
You do.
it.
You look phenomenal.
Yeah, but I barely exercise. All
No,
I do is walk and stretch.
Listen, when I first met you with Chisel, people used to think you were Johnny American.
Yeah, but now I've leaned out.
You leaned out again. You're a savage. You still got the kettlebells?
Yeah, but if I get back, I get hurt if I get back. I'm older, so I gotta watch my impact. So I should be spin biking more. I should be doing like a Runyon Griffin Canyon more. I should be swimming more. Swimming, biking,
You gotta take leave.
all that stuff. Spin and
he
swim.
He joined the swim school. He never went back.
Where? Where do you swim at?
Well, I haven't gone there yet, but they have one in Burbank.
Swim school?
They have classes.
He went last
You don't
week
know how to
pool.
swim, or is it just a lap pool?
He went last week. The place is closed.
I didn't go there.
Swimming's a great exercise. I need
Yeah,
to get
that's what
back
I've heard.
He
into
would
it.
be a savage in the pool. I heard when he swims, you're fucking on a molly and shit.
Jews are good swimmers. My dad was a
Yeah.
good swimmer. Mark Spitz was a good swimmer. Jewish.
I just don't have any cardio. I know how to swim. I can't do it for very long.
You can do it.
I need some advice, and I don't know if anyone's had this issue. I have to go to a urologist, and they're gonna stick a finger up my butt. Is it? I've never had that happen.
It's no big deal.
It's not that bad.
No, I mean, I was reading the newspaper the other day, and in the back, have an enema the night before. No, it's not bad. It's like wiping your thing, and then he'll say like, "I'm gonna enter it," and then it goes in there, and then you just like relax, you give in, and it'll be over. And then
How long does it take? Like 2 minutes, 2 seconds, or?
Oh, it's a fucking nightmare. I just was thinking about it.
I don't know.
no, it's like 15 seconds. They're just checking for like polyps or stuff.
They put you in the bed. They make you curl up in a fetal position.
Yeah.
He sticks his finger. He puts a glove on.
Yeah,
He
Vaseline.
sticks his finger on the Vaseline, and he rubs your back. And next thing you know, you feel this thing.
Does he
slide.
rub the back? He might.
Sure, he rubs your back and talks to you about.
Oh, because it
something.
helps relax.
Yeah,
it gets your mind off
the
it.
Cubs do the other night. Did you watch
They-
the game?
Oh, they've been
next-
doing well.
And next thing you know, you get this warm finger up your ass, and you feel it. He hits like the button where shit starts to come out. And the worst is when you look at his glove and it's got a little bit of shit on it. That's the worst. That's embarrassing as fuck, Jack.
And my doctor wants him to massage the prostate.
Does he?
Yes, I don't know what that.
Oh, you need a little masseuse of the prostate over and shit.
So
Oh,
is it
that's a
the,
part. You're going to splash all over yourself. You might as well take Paul over here to stroke that little peanut of death.
Oh, Jesus Christ! What really?
I got a hate tweet.
From who?
Front row Brian, he goes, "Dog, you mentioned you played baseball 24 times. I figured out you played baseball after the first 12 times you said it.
Tremendous.
Well deserved infamy. Whatever." It's people like that.
Fucked up and shit. Anyway, let's get
Very,
the,
very. Oh, he's a big fan of you.
he's a good man. Let's get the sponsors
Okay.
and let's do this shit here. Number one, let me explain something to you. What do you do when you want a snack, but all you can find is junk food? You rely on your self-control to resist the temptation. That never works. So you eat the junk food. Start snacking healthy with Nature Box. Let me explain something to you. I've had those chocolate nom-noms. I had a little shipment come in, and those chocolate nom-noms, I know how to eat them now. You got to eat 2 of them and put the rest of them away, and they'll last you some time. At first, when I was getting the chocolate nom-noms, I was eating a whole bag like I've owned because I was eating like 5 at a time in one hand. I said, I can't do that with the nom-noms. They have certain things that are just tremendous over there. But listen,
I still haven't tried one nom nom.
don't worry about nothing. I got you covered. Nature Box makes snacks that actually taste great and are better for you. Created with high-quality ingredients that are free from artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners, so you can feel great about snacking. Nature Box recently made their service even better. Now you can order as much as you want, as often as you want, with no minimum purchase required, and you can cancel anytime. You understand me? It's simple. Go to naturebox.com and check out their snack catalog. There are over 100 snacks to choose from, and they're constantly adding delicious new snacks. Choose the snacks you want, and they'll deliver them right from your door. Let me just give you some hints, all right? The vanilla bean wafers are to die for. The lemon almond biscuit bites, you're going to fucking jump out the window how good they are. All right? The dark cocoa nom-noms, you're going to want to eat the whole bag. You're going to need therapy. The toasted sesame that's the toasted sesame sticks. That's a different level, all right? The aged cheddar lentil loops, get ready to kill yourself, all right? The South Pacific plantains, there you go. The garlic bread cheese crisps, the salt and vinegar veggie chips, the salt and pepper lentil loops will make you want to go out and hit somebody with the car. I mean, that's how good this stuff is. You understand me? The strawberry lemonade, the full apple. These are all like a cranberry medley of the double berry fruit peels. Then you got the cashew power clusters. You got the crispy coconut squares.
What do you do for a
Come
cashew
on, dog. You got
cluster?
the pineapple coconut bars. You got the cherry vanilla granola. You got the French vanilla almond granola, which is sensational. And I mean, the list goes on and on. Do yourself a favor, all right? Go to naturebox.com right now, and you'll save even more. NatureBox is offering the church family, the people who listen to this show, 50% off your first order when you go to naturebox.com/Joey. Again, they're going to take 50% off your first order when you go to naturebox.com/Joey. That's naturebox.com/Joey for 50% off your first order online. naturebox.com/Joey. Healthy snacks right there at your fingertips. Start snacking healthy today. Number 2, let me tell you something. When the company called me, they sent me, and I don't even know how to describe it at this point. This has been my first week, but everything feels different. But again, like I told you in the beginning of the show, here's something to chew on. Many recent studies suggest that having good oral health impacts your overall health. Yet most of us don't brush our teeth properly. You can start brushing better today. I'll tell you what I'm going to introduce you to. It's a product called Quip, the new company that's refreshing the way people brush their teeth. Quip is an electric toothbrush that packs in a premium vibration and timer features into an ultra-slim design that's half the cost of bulkier brushes. It's basically like the Apple designed a toothbrush, but without the big price tag, and you have to see it and brush with it yourself. You could even subscribe to receive new brush heads on a dentist-recommended 3-month plan for $5. You understand me? Including free shipping. Quip is backed by the leading dentist and was named as one of Time Magazine's best inventions of 2016. They won a 2016 GQ Grooming Award, and they made it on Oprah's 2017 New Year's O-List, all right? Quip starts at $25. What I'm going to do for you is this. Right now, go to quip.com. Take a look at what you want to look at. You're going to love it. Once you see what you want, the toothbrush, you see how the whole plant works, read about it, and then go back to and go to quip.com/Joey and get your first refill pack free with a Quip electric toothbrush. You're gonna love it. It's gonna change how you brush your teeth. That's your first refill pack free at quip.com/Joey. Again, get quip.com/Joey. This is the future, okay, of brushing your teeth. Number 3, again, Father's Day's coming. You're sitting there. What are you going to give him? A stupid fucking tie? What are you going to give him? Shoe polish? What are you going to take him to the restaurant that he likes? He's going to eat the same fried fucking food. Fuck that. He's sitting there all day watching TV. He's retired. Either that or he's got a little spunk left to him and he's walking around. At any point, he's been your fucking dad. You're a grown person. Give your dad something he's really going to use. Get him a fucking bidet. But Joey, he's a Christian. Listen, there ain't a Christian in the world that wants a dirty asshole. You understand me? Nobody wants to walk around with a dirty asshole. There's nothing like sitting down, turning around, going to the bathroom. Before you go to the bathroom, you feel something weird. You're wiping, the toilet paper's brown. You've been walking like that all day. What do you think happens after 3 hours? There's a certain stench on your back. You understand me? But that ends right now. Go to HelloTushy.com. You know what HelloTushy.com is? They're a portable bidet. It snaps right into your bathroom, right in your house. You'll never have a stinky asshole again. Let's pretend you wake up in the morning and you get a little pep in your step. Listen, you get a coffee, you get a little nicotine gum, you do 3 bong hits, you sit in that fucking HelloTushy.com and let that water vibrate the center of your body. And what's that, Joey? Your asshole. Because there ain't nothing like kicking your asshole in your asshole at fucking 5 in the morning. That wakes you up. And listen, and you want to gamble, put an ice cube there. I don't give a fuck what you do. Whatever gets you started. Plain and simple. Hello Tushy is a revolutionary new bidet that attaches right to your toilet. No muss, no fuss, no nothing. They have a 90-day guarantee in case something happens, but nothing's going to happen. If they can carry my fat ass, they'll do wonders for your nice clean asshole. But again, why have a clean asshole? Why sit in a dirty chair all day and you're developing bacteria and hemorrhoids? You don't need that. You know why? Hello Tushy's here to help you. Go to HelloTushy.com and press in.
Church.
BAM! And get 10% off your order. Right to your house. Who's better than you? You're going to feel more confident. Your balls are going to be clean. You're going to thank me. Ladies, this is it right now. Everybody wants to have a baby, but you want to walk around with a wounded skunk. This is your chance right now to get a HelloTushy.com and keep that whole area clean. It's the summertime. You don't want to slip up now. This is how you start getting Christmas presents. You understand me? You got to have the monkey ready in the summertime. That's why you got to go to HelloTushy.com right now. Press in. Hit it, Lee.
Church.
BAM! All right. I want to thank Quip one more time, and I want to thank NatureBox.com. Again, go to Quip.com/Joey. I want to thank my brother, Brody Stevens, who I love.
Yes.
With a different mother.
Joey.
Since 1985, we've been doing comedy.
You got it.
Even with the tranny comic, Rita O.
Rita O.
Who fucking...
Rest in peace.
We stole her volumes downstairs, and we used to eat a pizza.
She put her penis in a pickle jar.
And she put a penis in a pickle jar, and she used to say, "Who ate my potato chips?" or whatever the fuck it was.
That was a good...
Tomorrow night, bitches. Bring an improv. Next Thursday, motherfuckers. You know what? I'm working out. The Ice House, Pasadena, 8:30. The 15th. I'll see you motherfuckers there. Have a phenomenal weekend. Stay black. Uncle Joey loves you.
Yes.